It is the first Saturday afternoon of baseball in Oakland this season, and the place is jumping for kids opening day as the youngsters try to get close to their heroes, like the kid in the A's clubhouse, 23-year-old Carlos Pena, the youngest A. Last 3 games, he's banged out 6 hits. He's all set for game 3 of this 4-gamer with the Anaheim Angels. And we feel like a couple of kids today. Glad to have you aboard. Greg Papa, Ray Fosse. Welcome to the afternoon of A's baseball here on Fox Sports Net. Yes, indeed. Carlos Pena, age 23, raised the youngest day this year. Last year it was Barry Zito, but he's going to have his 24th birthday coming up in about a month or so. Good matchup today. We saw it last Sunday in Anaheim. Zito against Kevin Appier.
Oh, to be young. You think you're young. You are young. But it is a great matchup today because you have a crafty right-hander in Kevin Appier. We talk about lefties being crafty, but Kevin Appier knows how to pitch. He falls off towards the first base side. I think sometimes that might confuse the hitter. As far as Barry Zito, he has pitched well in his first 3 starts, at least 6 innings. He made a couple mistakes against the Angels last weekend. He has an outstanding curveball, changeup, and fastball. The A's would like to see him get his first win today.
Kevin Appier off to a good start this year against the A's. Last Sunday, Ray allowed only 4 hits. His career ERA against the A's is 2.45, his lowest mark against any team. But welcome to Planet Zito today. Barry, who won 17 a year ago, still looking for his first win of the year, despite the fact he's pitched well his first 3 starts.
A's baseball is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. By your local Chevy dealers who invite you to test drive the new Chevy cars and trucks. By Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it.
Afternoon of A's baseball. Check out this youngster jacking in after taking the field with the A's and hanging out with David Justice out in right field. The A's normally do that on Sunday, but with tomorrow being an evening game. And what's more appropriate? Eric Chavez hanging out with a couple of youngsters, and good to see Eric back at the base to do it first Saturday afternoon of baseball inside the Network Associates Coliseum today. Kids opening day. Angels won last night. They're 6-10 overall. David Eckstein, Jeff DeVent, and Troy Glosko first 3. Garrett Anderson, only 2 homers of the year, both against the A's last week, including a homer Sunday off of Barry Zito. Tim Salmon in the lineup to DH today. Benji Molina, 3 hits, 3 RBIs last night. Lower third is Spezio, Jose Nieves, and Orlando Palmeiro, a late addition to the lineup. Go back 9th against Barry Zito.
And the McDonald scouting report on Barry Zito. 2-4-seam fastball, outstanding curve and changeup. Curve and his changeup, probably the best pitch. Great composure. Career 5-3 against the Angels. His loss last Sunday came against Kevin Appier and the Anaheim club in Anaheim.
First ever start, of course, was against the Anaheim Angels. A's defensively getting great play on the infield. Carlos Pena over at first base has not yet committed an error in 161 total chances, the most in the majors. Frank Menachino at second also has played error-free, and he's had 60 chances. Miguel Tejada made his first error last night at shortstop. Eric Chavez is back at third after missing the previous 2 with that right hip flexor. And the outfield, Jeremy Giambi, T. Long, and David Justice, status quo. Greg Myers catching this day game after the night game. He also caught Barry Zito last Sunday afternoon in Anaheim. Eric Chavez back in. Had a good fielding practice before the game. Taking infield, was moving very well and looked pretty good in the cage as well. David Eckstein had 3 hits against Barry Zito last Sunday. Takes this one to shallow center, and Terrence Long hardly has to move in right center. T. Long is playing him the other way.
And Justice and Terrence Long playing very shallow in center and right field. And David Eckstein, as you started to mention, I'm sure, about the slap double he hit as he faked a bunt and then hit the ball almost out of the park at Anaheim.
Kevin Appier makes the walk in from the Angel bullpen, the former Oakland A, back in the American League after pitching last year with the Mets. Here is Jeff DeVannen, who is in playing for Darren Erstad. Erstad not in their lineup tonight. In fact, he's at Summit Medical Center after suffering a mild concussion last night. DeVannen plays in center. Angels changed their lineup at the very last moment as Brad Fulmer was going to DH today. Lefty versus the lefty Zito, but he has a contusion of the right thumb, and he was a late scratch. Vannon came into the game late last night after Erstad had to leave in the top of the 4th. Pops this one. David Justice coming in from right field, and Barry Zito, a couple of lazy fly balls. Gets the first 2 outs of the afternoon, Foss.
And the Mercedes keys to the game today, and anytime you face a pitcher, craftiness of Kevin Appier, you hope to learn something from what he did last Sunday. The A's facing him in his back-to-back starts, and hope they did learn something. Keep winning under the sun. They won their first game in the daylight on Thursday. They like to win their second in a row, and the first Saturday at home here at the Coliseum. And a lot of anticipation about Jermaine Dye being back in the lineup today, possibly even as a designated hitter. Instead, he's not even activated, so got to do it without Jermaine. And I think that's, I would have to think most of the players thought that he was going to be in the lineup today.
Well, we all thought that as Troy Gloss singles on the first pitch he sees to left center field. Gloss broke an 0 for 21 last night with a base hit, and he opens his afternoon with a clean single here with 2 outs. Jermaine Dye is back in Oakland. His rehab assignment, at least the Sacramento portion, concluded last night as he went hitless and winds up 3 for 16 in the 4 games, spending a lot of time with the A's new strength and conditioning coach Clarence Cockrell. And Jermaine took part in agility drills this morning, also outfield work. Mike Quaddy, the A's outfield coach, put him through a rather demanding set of exercises out there. And the A's just don't feel that he's quite ready to come back and play in the outfield. And until he is ready to get a little more stable, we may see him DH initially. They'd like him to do a little bit more. You're probably not going to see Jermaine Dye activated off the disabled list until, I would think, the earliest would be next Tuesday when the Yankees come.
Greg Myers needs to tell Mike Everett that Barry Zito has a pretty good curveball. Everett, the home plate umpire.
He doesn't know that, huh?
Well, I thought the first one was a pretty good strike.
Talk about players having to learn the umpires. Don't the umpires have to learn the players?
Yes.
Garrett Anderson lifts this one to left. Jeremy Giambi back, now coming in shy of the track. And that is 3 fly balls by Barry Zito. And Gloss's single in between does him no harm. Jeremy will lead off, and we come back. Angels don't score at the top of the first. The A's have lost 4 of their last 5. They're down to 9-8 overall. Giambi, Menachino, Hatteberg, top 3. Justice Chavez, Tejada. T. Long will anchor the bottom 3rd. T. Long a home run here on Thursday afternoon in a 2-hit game last night. Greg Myers catching, and Carlos Pena swinging a hot stick will bat 9th against the 8th.
McDonald's scout report on Kevin Appier. Fastball, curve, splitter, and slider. Definitely bulldog mentality. Career against the Athletics 12-7. One of those wins coming last Sunday in his last start against the Athletics.
Garrett Anderson's in left as usual. Jeff DeVannon takes over in center. In fact, his first career start in center. Darren Ersted's usually there, but you see him last night banging his head. Watch his chin as he hits the turf. And he suffered a mild concussion on top of what he experienced earlier in the week when he banged head first into the wall in Anaheim on Tuesday night. He is right now at Summit Medical Center. And he already had a CAT scan, everything negative there. They are giving him an MRI. And hopefully he'll be released from the hospital later on the day. But currently he is still at Summit Medical Center. First pitch from Kevin Appier is a called strike to Jeremy Giambi. Singled his first at bat last night and later was hit by a pitch. He has reached in every game. And he singled against Kevin Appier last Sunday in Anaheim in 3 at bats. Appier allowed only 4 hits in total, going 7. So Jeremy showing bunt here, tries to pull Gloss in, but it's unlikely he'll take the bait. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll just go ahead and lay one down. Push it down third base line. If he's
You
not
have to convince him that way, right?
Absolutely. And Appier does fall off towards the first base side.
Straight back foul. Count is 1-2. Very good matchup. Kevin Appier and Barry Zito will be inside of our Pepsi spotlight all afternoon. That's Barry laying himself with a manicure or writing notes down. Zito was not nearly as sharp as we have seen in his last out and could not spot his fastball real well, but Appier was extremely good. Breaking ball. Throws a lot of breaking balls, but he threw a good amount of fastballs and had a pretty good fastball last Sunday hitting the radar gun in the high 80s throughout the afternoon.
Well, he has very good movement on his fastball, so he will start it inside of the lefties and have it come back over the plate, or start it away and have them try to reach it.
Count is 2-2 to Jeremy. Kevin Appier, now 34 years of age, left the A's after a very good 2000 year when he won 15 games to sign a 4-year contract with the Mets. And he was dealt just a couple of days after Christmas to the Angels for Mo Vaughn, who was still on the disabled list. Appier wiping off the pitch selection from Molina on his low. This one's taken down the line, got a hook foul. Just missed a double in the corner, Jeremy did.
I mentioned Kevin Appier, but just watch the left side, how he finishes and then falls off towards the first base side. Of course, people over the years that he has pitched in Major League Baseball have always said, well, he's going to end up hurting himself, but he has the proper mechanics. Once he gets to the point where he has finished throwing the ball, then he falls off, but everything is fine to that point.
In fact, when he did hurt himself, you recall he had surgery on his pitching shoulder in the spring of 1998. As Jeremy Giambi chases one there and strikes out. It actually was a non-baseball related injury. He fell on a sheet of ice going to a shower. He had a bunch of presents in his hand, lost his footing, and that's how he hurt himself. Nothing to do with the pitching mechanics.
Didn't have any hot water? He's going to a shower in ice? Oh, you mean a
yeah.
Oh, okay. Wedding shower, baby showers.
Think he'd carry a lot of presents into the shower with him and slip on ice? No. Just want to make sure I'm clear. Appier gets a called strike to Menachino. Mike Everett behind the plate this afternoon is a young umpire, just 37 years of age, joined the Major League staff in 1999. And Aquino straight back foul. Well, we have seen of the younger umpires, they are more inclined to call the high strike that Major League Baseball wants called. Doug Eddings over at first base, got into it here a little bit on Thursday in the afternoon game, the first game of this series. Lost a would-be homer by Troy Glaus, but it was correctly overruled by his crew members, and the home run was taken back. And Aquino with a swing and a miss. Kevin Appier gets off to a ripping start here, striking out the first two.
Jeremy swung at a bad pitch after 7, and the 8th was up and out of the strike zone. Now Frankie Menachino goes after a pitch down and away, and that's the characteristic of Menachino. He usually has a very good eye and will not swing at a bad pitch, but the Appier hiding the ball well, and the A's hitter's not able to pick it up at this point.
Youngsters got good seats right on top of the dugout, behind the dugout. Hedberg takes the breaking pitch from Appier for a ball. Scott trying to get going here, now hitting 2 1/4, 0 for 4 last night with a walk, and he was 0 for 3 Thursday. Also drew a walk in that game. Gets this one to left, slicing away from Garrett Anderson, and Garrett will get there and foul ground, makes the basket catch into his body, and he retires Scott Hedberg. So a nice play by Garrett Anderson, Ray, going up against the line to run this one down.
Well, he was able to catch it right near the line and then be able to brace himself as he got near the wall.
Here's the catch. A couple of Z's here on a lazy Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day, 57 degrees and warming. And as Barry Zito goes to work here against Tim Salmon to start the second. Barry Zito allowed a base hit to Glaus with 2 outs in the first, but 3 fly balls, and they were all routinely caught. Tim Salmon was not in the Angel lineup on Thursday afternoon. The A's won that game 4-2 to get the series underway. He did come back last night for Anaheim's 9-7 victory. Even though the Angels had a season high in runs and hits, Salmon went hitless in the game, but did draw a couple of walks.
Well, I would have to think that unless there's something physically wrong with Tim Salmon, that He would want to be in the outfield. That way it takes his mind off. When you're DH, all you think about is hitting. Sit down, get 4 or 5 at bats, and at least playing defense, then you can take your mind off of your offense.
And that may be his very problem. He's thinking too much about hitting. But Orlando Palmeiro has gone to right field. As we noted earlier, the Angels initially had Salmon in right. Brad Fulmer was going to DH, but Fulmer came down with a contusion of the right thumb and was a late scratch. There's a strike. Count is 2-2.
Was that his hip long dive into first base?
Maybe. That may be. I'm just thinking about that. That was the play of the game last night when Mike Fury was late reacting, and a ground ball hit by Fulmer to Carlos Pena. And Fulmer able to beat it out for an RBI infield single.
And Mike Fury admitted it, as most pitchers would admit, that he did not get over quickly enough to cover.
That's a tough break. If he gets over in time, they score 1 in that 3rd inning last night, but that one mistake allowed them to score 4. That was the Angels' biggest inning of the year. Of course, it started with a leadoff walk to Salmon. Barry Zito will throw a 3-2 pitch to Salmon here. And it's fouled straight back. Salmon was 0 for 3 against Zito last Sunday in Anaheim. Pretty good group today. First 15,000 pick up a ace car flag from Majestic. Salmon reaching for that one, fouls it back up on an inning.
Here last Sunday, Barry Zito had a tough time getting the final strike or getting it out. Too many foul ball swings by hitters once he got 2 strikes, and that's the worst thing can happen to a pitcher as far as pitch count. You could try to find a way to put him away, one way or the other.
Yeah, he walks him. With a 3-2 changeup and walked Tim Salmon. Zito threw exactly 100 pitches last Sunday in 6 innings. And walked only 1 batter. So a leadoff walk for the Angels here in the 2nd. And here comes Benji Molina.
Roy Steele just said Ben.
Does he want to be called Ben? Does he get too old for Benji?
I would think it'd be Benji.
I've not been notified.
No.
Big Benji. He had a big night last night. 3 hits and 3 RBIs.
And watch the first pitch as always. He is up there aggressively swinging early in the count.
Swings it like Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, who has not made the trip to Seattle with his Texas Ranger teammates. He has stayed back in Dallas, and he's having lower back problems. And they're talking about putting Pudge on the disabled list.
Well, if that's associated with his extra weight, 15, 20 pounds heavier than last year. When the catcher has knee problems, which has had surgery, you don't need the extra weight.
Zito does not have a great move to first base, but he does throw over quite a bit. And trying to get a good look at his move. There he will put all the weight on his back leg when he pitches out of the stretch. Out of the plate, and Molina fouls it. Well, if they do DL Pudge, that'll be 3 straight years. He had been on the disabled list, and this is a contract year for Ivan Rodriguez.
It makes you wonder how he could expect anybody to give him a huge contract, which he wants, based on the fact that he has been injured the last 3 years.
Well, Mike Socha last night, you'll recall, twice started runners on hit and runs. In fact, it was these 2 guys together that got their 3rd going. Salmon was hitting 7th last night, and Molina was hitting 8th. Salmon opened with a walk, was running on a pitch, and Molina singled to center. They have moved up in the batting order today to 5 and 6 respectively, but Art Howe feels like Mike Scioscia may do the same thing.
You want to try to avoid throwing a pitch out if possible, because if he goes, that's one thing, but you don't want to find pitcher getting deep in the hole because of a pitch out. Probably one of the toughest calls. Now it's on the manager, bench coach, but as a catcher, when catchers actually called their own pitch outs, that was tough. You try to see something, but you never wanted to give away a pitch. Call a pitch out, nothing happened.
Molina come back with a Zito. Here comes Tejada for 1, and that's a double play.
Salmon is hurt. Somebody's hurt at second, because Salmon hit Tejada hard, and
Tejada checking with Salmon as he walks by. It was Salmon who got the worst end of the collision, it looks like.
Oh, it's a big difference when the ground is dry, isn't it? Think back to Corey Lido throwing off of the pitcher's mound, but watch, Tejada jumped and avoided a little bit, but Tim Salmon slid late. Ooh. Did he kick his head?
Came very close. I think Tejada with a acrobatic flip to avoid most of Salmon, but he may have just grazed him. Let's see. Yeah, got him right in the helmet. He did slide very late. That's how A-Rod got hurt a couple of years ago. Strike 2 to Scott Spezio.
Well, if there's ever a position where no fear is one of the requirements, it's at second base. Second base, shortstop, especially something like that. And worse on a second baseman because it's kind of blinded. He's back to the first base and the runner. It's amazing how acrobatic they are in getting out of the way. Hard slides.
Looked like Salmon may have wrenched his neck, and he got a little jolted there. I don't think it was so much being kicked by Tejada, but just trying to avoid Tejada. Salmon put on some extra weight. Talking about Pudge Rodriguez, Salmon reported to camp this year at 240. He lifted a lot this year.
There was a difference in what Pudge did, right? Well, the exercise seemed like Pudge did was push away from the table.
Now, why would Pudge want to gain that weight with knee problems?
I have no idea.
This one's hit hard by Spezio with foul. Spezio's bad as they jump over the empty rows. What an effort there. He's got it. Gonna run in the tunnel now and go, ah! Did that hurt? Talking about going for a loose ball. Now watch this.
Oh, my.
That's a good hop. Yep.
My knees hurt just watching it.
Jumping the rope was good, then he banged an extra. It's all right to do that when no one are actually sitting in those seats. That's all right. There's the car flag that was handed out today. 3-2 pitch to Spezio. That's ball 4. Barry loses another. So it'll lead off walk, then the double play, and now a 2-out walk.
It seems like Greg Myers and Zito trying to get the changeup working through several to Spezio and left them all outside. And it's almost as if the hitters are reading the delivery and picking up the changeup because they're not swinging at it. Usually he'll get a lot of swings and pitches out of the strike zone on his changeup, but not today so far.
Jose Nieves, who gets the start today over the Angels at second base over Adam Kennedy. Nieves was in against Zito last week, and he went 0 for 2. I was talking to Greg Myers before the game, who was catching Zito today like he did last Sunday, and he said last Sunday Barry just couldn't quite locate his fastball, and it seems like with Barry, when he gets on a roll, and he'll get on those rolls where he'll retire 17 straight guys or whatever it is, all 3 pitches are working. Fastball, curveball, change. Last week it was the fastball he couldn't quite get. And today they're trying to work through his changeup. Here's one for a strike. Jose Nieves actually came to the Angels last March, right before the season started, in a trade involving Mike Fury. Fury went to the Cubs, and Nieves came to the Angels. Popped, foul out of play. So Zito jumps ahead 1-2. Stay healthy in the crowd today, folks. A's have already got a full DL. Mulder's on it. We got 4 in total. Let's not have any fans join the disabled list. Guys are playing hard today.
Hard or dumb?
Harder and harder. Zito takes too long for Nieves. He'll back out. There goes the runner Spezio. Myers comes up throwing a little high, and Spez is out anyway. Good tag by Menachino. Greg Myers throws out Scott Spezio, trying to steal second base to end the inning. Angels don't score despite a couple of walks. David Justice will lead off when we come back, followed by Chavez and then Tejada. Well, Dad wants to capture every bit of this as he takes youngster out here on Kids opening day. David Justice will lead off the bottom of the second in a scoreless game against Kevin Appier. Appier looked very sharp. Greg Myers helping Zito out by throwing out Spezio, trying to steal in the top of the inning.
Well, it's frustrating as a catcher when you know your pitcher has 3 quality pitches, and so far he really can't get locked in on any of them. Just try to keep working, calling different pitches, and hope that he can get locked in.
It's pretty good when you're not locked in and you're still throwing zeros on the board. But he has uncommon stuff there, Zito. David Justice in last night's 9-7 loss got the A's going with a solo homer. Tejada getting a wrap from Larry Davis after his little collision with Tim Salmon around the bag. Larry Davis, he is a busy guy. The daily briefings of the media with Barry. With Larry. Justice breaks one down the line fair. Orlando Palmeiro will fire the second, but David Justice is in with a leadoff double here in the second.
David jumping on a pitch that stayed right in the middle of the plate. Little breaking door, back door. And hammered it, kept him in the park, unlike last night when he took Washburn deep. Well, one thing I learned about David Justice is a smart hitter. He goes up and he has a pretty good idea what the pitcher's going to do. And if he's correct, which a lot of times he is, he can do some damage.
He's starting to drive the ball again. Here's the laser double down the line here. And he shows good speed as he digs for 2 immediately. Justice going into last night's game, an 8-game streak where he was just 6 for 33, and they were all singles. A home run last night, and now this ringing double. Eric Chavez goes the other way in his first at bat. And getting back is David Justice as Eric flies out to left, 1 away. Chavez missed the last 2 with the right hip flexor injury. Bothers him the most when he swings. He had no problem during infield. He was moving around beautifully, spinning all over the place and firing, but when he lifts that front leg on the right side of his body, he does feel a little pain. Vanguard saying how to feel. He walked off the field, Ray. It may have bothered him on that one. Miguel Tejada. A's gave us some thrills last night as they scored 4 in the top of the 9th, breaking out of a bit of a scoring slump. The A's had scored 4 fewer runs in each of their previous 4 games, and they lay a 4 spot in the 9th to make it 9-7. They got Tejada up at the end of the game, but he wound up bouncing out to third against Percival. Miguel was 1 for 5 last night.
Tyler looking for a little bit too much that time, and as we mentioned earlier, Kevin Appier very good at changing speeds and throwing a lot of off-speed pitches or breaking pitches and fastball counts. Just kind of think backwards with Appier.
Broken bat. Spezio will take it himself. To third goes David Justice. 2 outs. Got him tight on Miguel.
Just try to push the ball out of the way, and that's a great no-out run at second base swing, but that's just a sticky fastball that got in on the hands of Tejada.
Happened to Miguel last night also, where they got inside, broke his bat. He usually get him out away. Now coming in tight on him. Here's Terrence Long. Terrence has had a good series against the Angels. Hit his first homer of the year off for Ramon Ortiz on Thursday afternoon. And then last night, a couple of hits. In fact, the A's bottom of the order last night. Long, Ramon Hernandez at 8th, and Carlos Pena each had 2 hits. Got jammed and lifts it behind first. Spezio and Nieves are out. Nieves will fall away Spez and make the catch in shallow right. The A's get a leadoff double from David Justice. He advances to third, but no further. 0-0 after 2. Stomper leading team pachyderm. You like that, don't you? A's have already played, what, 8 home games this early year, but make your plans to be with us later on. Full and season partial plans are available for you. Some of the plans start for as little as $120, and all season ticket holders are guaranteed rights to purchase postseason tickets. Greg Myers coming over, but will not have a play. Back in the chiropractor for a strike. So call the A's 510-638. Go A's. A knee saver Greg Myers wearing.
Those are outstanding, and unfortunately they were not invented until what, last 4 or 5 years.
Sandy Alomar Jr. was the first guy I recall wearing those, right?
Yeah. It almost gives you the feeling of sitting in a chair instead of putting all the weight on your knees.
Nieves, who was batting, you recall, when Spezio was out stealing, gets to start over. Look at the hustle here. Check out this kid. He may go in the 7th round of the NFL draft tomorrow with that kind of 40 time.
Was that Cliffy?
He was, but no. Cliffy. Bring his walker out there.
That's Kurt.
Look at him. Hardly even breathing.
The sunglasses or eye black?
Both?
Or hardly breathing. He's breathing too heavy.
I know.
You're going to sprint like that, better get in shape.
What's
big sweatbands on. Look at him. He's still breathing hard. Look at that.
Ooh, Nieves chasing one. Very Zito strikes him out with a fastball. One away here in the top of the 3rd.
Now batting number 3, Orlando Palmero, right field.
They'll bring on Orlando Palmeiro, who has always hit the A's well in his career. Actually, last year he hit 300 against the A's. Never brought his career numbers down. The year before, he hit 500, 13 for 26 against the A's in 2000. Making the start today in right field. Reaching out and fouling that one off. Zito has a ball and a strike now. Strike two. Fastball called.
He talked about Barry Zito getting locked in. Of course, the Texas game in Arlington, he had 5 strikeouts in succession. That's called getting locked in, using all of his pitches.
Then the big curveball. He's starting to find rhythm as he strikes out the first 2 batters. The third one with a fastball, and this one with his curve.
Huge break. Little buckle of the knees, and Palmeiro didn't know what to do. Watch the right side. Starts to get out of the way of the ball.
Wow.
It's like it's going to hit him. Then he has to swing when he sees it's going to be a strike.
My God. We've got to put together a videotape of all the swings just against Barry Zito's curveball. It is just amazing. He's gotten both Palmeiros, Orlando and Raphael. I mean, everybody.
Well, now it would be appropriate if he could strike out Exxon on a changeup. Of course, that's what he did in his major league debut with the bases loaded, using his 3 pitches to strike out Salmon, Anderson,
and Moe.
Bases loaded, nobody out.
That's when Moe was a healthy Angel. The 2000 year. Now Zito goes 3-0. Eckstein's been the one guy. Eckstein, 3 hits against him last Sunday. Had a bunt base hit to open. He blooped a curveball to right center. Then he pulled back a bunt and drove one over Giambi's head and left for an RBI double. Came around to score. Fastball. Eckstein with a base hit to left. The one guy in this lineup that Barry Zito's had the most difficulty with has been David Eckstein.
How about chop some wood? 3-1. He gets on top of the ball. He's not going to generate a lot of power, but he's going to find a hole. That's just when you think he's not going to generate some power, he'll get into a fastball and send it out of the park.
He's one of those guys you've got to watch. You see him one game, he may not impress you at all, but you watch him play over a period of time, and he finds a way to get it done. At just 5'8", 170 pounds. There's a strike. Jeff DeVannen flied to right his first time this afternoon. This is a spot where you think Mike Scioscia would be very aggressive in. 2 outs. DeVannen, not a real power type hitter. Eckstein can run. Led the club in stolen bases last year with 29.
But he could have the green light too, which would be on his own as far as running whenever he feels he has a good jump.
He had a hard time with Zito's move last Sunday. He kept leaning back towards the bag when Barry was coming home. Could not figure out Barry's move. There he goes, though. Oh, Myers throws down to second, and Eckstein's safe. He got in this time. Count is 2-1 to the plate, and Jeff DeVannen.
Slight hesitation, and Greg Myers getting rid of the ball. That time Eckstein did read it. Strong throw by Myers, but that slight hesitation and a pretty good jump by Eckstein got him in safely. Straight steal all the way. Nieves or Devannon taking the pitch, giving an opportunity to steal, where a single now brings him home.
It's only Eckstein's second successful steal. He's been thrown out this year already 3 times. Last year, he only was caught all year 4 times. Count now goes 3-1 to Devannon. Waiting on deck is Troy Gloss, so you don't want to lose Devannon here. Back on the screen, foul, and the count goes full.
You'd have to think this is the time that Devannon would get a pitch to hit. Hitting Gloss in the on deck circle, first base open. At least that used to be the theory.
Well, I think I would subscribe to that theory now.
Absolutely.
I don't want to walk this guy and have to face a guy who was at 40-plus home runs each the last 2 years with 2 on. And he strikes him out with a fastball right down the middle. Zito strikes out Devannon to strand Eckstein at second. Angels don't score in the top. At the end of 2.5, still 0-0. Well, big crowd today, and they're waving around their car flags that they got coming in from Majestic. First 15,000 picked that item up. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd here, A's and Angels. Kevin Appier to face Greg Myers. Greg Myers, one of the big hits last night with a 2-run single off of Troy Percival. That brought the A's to within 9-7. Count is 2-0 to Myers. Myers was 1 for 3 in the game against Kevin Appier last Sunday. Had a double against Appier. And Apier's last inning of work, the 7th. 2-0 pitch. It's up. And Myers has a 3-0 count here, trying to lead off the 3rd with a walk.
Ever since Jeremy saw 7 pitches, 8 pitches in the first at bat, Appier economical with his pitches.
Missed there with a fastball, tailed a little and was low. So a 4-pitch leadoff walk to Myers.
Now batting number 2, Carlos Pena, first base.
Well, Roy Steele really changed overnight, didn't he? I think he slept it all last night.
And the young man who is doing the announcing in this half inning, they put that diamond vision on him, and he's embarrassed. Say, Greg Myers, center. No, catcher.
11 years of age, hanging with Roy Steele. Carlos Pena, well, he turned it on lately after a little bit of a slump. Last 3 games, he is 6 for 9.
His secret? Cornflakes. Young man loves cornflakes. He's got a bowl. It's huge. And,
it's a good thing.
Yeah. But the other day I was asking about it, and he said when he was in the Dominican Republic, he had 4 in the family, 4 kids. He said they never got to get cornflakes. So when his uncle came to the States, he'd bring a box of cornflakes back, and he said they'd ration them. He said we'd get 25 flakes each. Oh, God. And he said, now I love them. I just pour this whole box in. He's loving every minute of it, eating all the cornflakes.
Isn't that great?
He said, man, whenever my uncle would bring a box back, we would say, oh, they'd bring Snickers and all kinds of candy back, and just loved it. That's one of the problems. You get down to clubhouses, Mikey Thalbom on the visiting side, Steve Luce on its home side. They have a lot of goodies there. You have to watch yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Clarence Cockrell, the strength and conditioning coach, of course, also looks at diet. And he looks around and sees that stuff. And Guys love to eat as long as they work out and keep the extra weight off.
Well, cornflakes is all right.
Oh, yeah.
Strike. Could be like the Mickey Tettleton story this
Right.
year. Huh? When Mickey had the Fruit Loops.
Loops,
Now, that's
yeah.
a little sugary. You want to stay away from those.
Well, Carlos makes up for it with the sugar he applies to the cornflakes. He said he likes sugar also.
He watches what he eats very, very diligently. He is living in Walnut Creek with a lot of his teammates. Mark Mulder and Eric Chavez. Mike Colangelo lives there also. Mike Benefro's there in a 5-bedroom house they have in Walnut Creek. No cornflakes at the concession stands. I can't get the little box of cornflakes. Gotta have a hot dog. With all the new foods they're making available at concession stands, it is still by far the #1 item at the ballpark. Good old hot dog on a Saturday afternoon. 2-2 pitch to Pena, and he gets one a long way down the line. This one is off the pole, a 2-run homer. That's gone. The Angels are playing it back in play, but it's gone. It's a home run off the pole. George Laws just missed one here on Thursday the other way down the left field line, but this one clearly hit the pole for Carlos Pena. He ties Eric Chavez and others for the league lead.
Trying to go inside. Look how quickly he opens the hips. Right down the line, hit the pole, and that is a home run. That is a home run. I don't know what Palmeiro was doing. He had to clearly see that it hit the foul pole.
I guess after Thursday, he thought, I'm not taking any chances.
We'll have some more cornflakes, kid.
You're probably advertisers all over town now trying to let's get him a cornflakes deal.
You know, he eats them just all day, not just for breakfast. He'll have them before the game. A little superstitious, there's no doubt. Most players are.
He had 4 homers his first week with the A's to grab the American League lead in home runs. Cooled off a little bit, but hit a home run here on Thursday. Has another today. So he ties Eric Chavez, Alex Rodriguez, Robin Ventura, and Jay Gibbons of the Orioles. Jay Gibbons. Now Carlos Pena is on that list of 5. They have each hit a half dozen. There's a strike to Jeremy Giambi, 2-2.
And just the 20th of April.
The Anaheim Angels' entire roster has 6 home runs. The A's have 2 players with 6 apiece. Giambi with a sinker that drops. They said Palmeiro kept it in front of him coming in. But Jeremy's on base. His streak continues. He has now reached in all 18 this year. Starting to solve Kevin Appier here.
Well, Jeremy fooled out on the front foot, but still reaches out, keeps the bat back. That's always important.
Now batting.
Palmeiro getting the body in front of the ball once he went down and tried to make a spectacular play.
The A's keep hitting like this in this inning. That kid on the PA is going nowhere. I guarantee you that. Billy Beane will lock the door. Carlos Pena, after Greg Myers opened the inning with a 4-pitch walk, yanks out number 6. Now Menachino dances out of the way. Menachino struck out his first time. Strike. A's now with 25 home runs. Yankees came into play leading the league with 25. They've hit 1 today. The Bronx Bombers holding true to their name, lead the league. The A's right behind them. White Sox had 4 home runs today as they are all over the Tigers, 12-5. Yankees and White Sox are coming to town. We'll see both of those clubs next week. Yankees in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday a day game. The White Sox will be here next weekend. Boy, has Kenny Lofton gotten off to a start.
Yes, he has.
Everybody thought he was done, dead and buried after last year's year in Cleveland. But
says a lot about playing on a 1-year contract, doesn't it?
He's angry too. But he got a little over $1 million, didn't he? And Aquino drives one to left center. Well spit. And that one's off the wall. Jeremy had to make sure he's going to stop at third. Menachino hits a shot. The A's really teeing off now on Kevin Appier.
Well, so far, keys of the game looks like they have figured out, and they learned a little something about Kevin Appier last week. Frankie Menachino, again, a pitch supposed to be inside, and it was down. A couple of breaking balls that Frankie took for strikes, and the ball stuck under the pad a little bit. Slow it down. Jeremy, though, good idea with nobody out to make sure that the ball did get over DeVannon's head.
Bud Black comes out to talk to Kevin Appier. Appier started well today in the first 2 innings, but much like Mike Feary last night, running into problems in his 3rd inning of work. 2-run homer, and now a double by Menachino after Pena hit the 2-run homer. Now the A's have 2, but they are poised to score at least 2 more.
Depending what the Angels infield does, a ground ball to the right side would accomplish a couple of things. Get one in, get the other one over. And more likely this inning they will play back, and looks like that's what they will do. And because Appier throws so many off-speed pitches, that should help out. Just get the top hand and roll over on it. On Washington pointing out to Jeremy Giambi, any place except Troy Gloss should be able to score. Or back to the pitcher.
Atterberg, a good guy to have up in this spot. He will swing at a strike, and he does not strike out very much. He struck out only 3 times all year in 50 at-bats. Remain Dye back in Oakland, but not active. These are the moments that Thad Bosley talks more about than, say, the 2-run homer off the foul pole, which you like. But he refers to this as situational hitting. It does not always mean coming up with a hit. Just a proper out here. Scores you a run and sets up another. Gets Giambi in from third and moves Menachino to third with just 1 out. Atterberg takes a strike.
And it's important to take a pitch that you don't have a chance to pull. And that pitch is definitely away. It's over in this area. He's trying to get him to hit the ball to the left side. And so as a hitter, you see that pitch, take it. Well, that's 2 strikes.
There's a good pitch by Appier on 2-0. Still not coming in or down the middle. Up, and he changes speeds, and Atterberg a little too anxious, misses it. Atterberg walked in 3 plate appearances against Kevin Appier last Sunday. First time up today, he fouled out down the left field line to Garrett Anderson. Angels are back. Atterberg has hit Kevin Appier well in his years with the Boston Red Sox. Well, Kevin Appier was a Royal and later on an A. Atterberg got jammed, and it is caught by Eckstein. Runners have to scamper back. 1 away here in the 3rd. So Mike Scioscia did the right thing there. It'll leave him back. The batter is David Justice with Eric Chavez on deck. Justice rifled a double down the right field line leading off the second, but did not score. There's a strike.
Did not let Appier get out of this inning without at least one score.
One more score. Yeah, you're right. There's no doubt.
Second and third, nobody out. You have to score.
Kevin Appier, 148 career victories. And even though obviously he starts far more night games in modern day baseball, he has been a more frequent winner during the daytime at a much lower ERA. Guys won 10 games or more, 9 different seasons. Justice, shallow center, next time out. It's going to be the second baseman, Nieves. Giambi will not move as Nieves throws a strike. Nieves going out and making a play. So Justice pops out following Hannaberg's pop out. And Kevin Appier is 2/3 of the way getting through the second and third and nobody out situation.
Well, with Nieves going out, I figure he's backpedaling a little bit, but he quickly gets rid of the ball, gets it back in, and actually ended up setting it up very well. And Jeremy Giambi at third base not able to test the arm of Nieves. So Kevin Appier getting 2 fly balls. And now has the option of pitching carefully to Chavez, even though he's not been in line up a couple of days with the hot on the on-deck circle, but looks like he'll go after it.
Molina blocks it to hold Jeremy Giambi at third. Frank Menachino drove a ball off the base of the wall. Jeremy Giambi went to third, but with nobody out, did not push it to score. Now the A's are in danger of not scoring. Eric Chavez injured his right hip flexor here on Wednesday night. Ball hit by Jeff Cirillo. This is not related to his back injury that kept him out of the lineup 3 games earlier in the year. It's a fresh injury right on the right hip. And again, it does give him pain when he lifts his front leg to start his hitting mechanics.
He's still lifting at the same height, though.
Yeah.
Tough to break old habits, and had a lot of success lifting a leg the way he does. Now they're going to put him on. Get down 2-0. You don't want to take a chance of making a mistake, so they'll go after Tejada now.
Crowd doesn't want to see their big slugger lose a plate appearance, but that is the proper call the way these 2 guys are swinging the bat right now. Injury or no injury for Chavez. We go righty versus righty. So Eric Chavez on the intentional walk goes to first base. He is the first Oakland A to be intentionally walked this season. Last year, Jason Giambi was walked quite a bit in that number 3 hole. Now it's up to Tejada. Miguel grounded out to Spezio at first base. Bases are loaded. And 2 outs. The A's have scored twice on the homer by Pena. But 1 more. The appeal. And it's ball 1 to Tejada.
You're going to take your chances and make him throw a strike. Appier is good at trying to get hitters to go out of the strike zone and swing at his pitch. And if you're patient, and again, because he doesn't throw extremely hard, it allows you to be a lot more patient. Just trust your hand. Be quick with the hand. Like Carlos Pena was.
Way inside, 2-0. Barry Zito's waited a long time here in the bottom of the third. He'd like to get more than just a couple runs.
Here's a point for a hitter. 2-0. You look fastball in a zone. If you don't get it, take it. He throws a breaking ball, take it.
Tejada to left field, well struck. Anderson back, it's over his head, it's off the wall. Giambi scores. Menachino scores. Chavez coming in, he scores. Tejada clears the deck with a 3-run double.
But Tejada got one better. He got a hanging breaking ball for Kevin Appier. Right in the center of the plate. Great reaction by Tejada. That it is comparable to a batting practice fastball because it hardly had any break on it. I thought it had enough to get out. It just up on the out of towns.
Look at how close that came. I didn't realize watching it live that barely hit the yellow line. Just beneath the yellow line. If it touches that yellow line over the black backdrop for the out-of-town scores, if it hits that yellow line, it's gone. No, it hit lower. Hit lower. Hit the Texas sign. Thought it hit a little higher in that one replay. But Tejada will take it. 3 big ribbies. 13 on the year. Well, if Kevin Appier gets out of that and gives up just 2, it changes the entire afternoon. Mark Lukashevich gets up in the Angel bullpen. Saw him last night. Well, the A's lay 5 spot on the Angels here in the third. Their biggest run scoring inning of the new year. 2 on the homer by Pena and 3 there by Tejada a moment ago. And they may not be done. One down the line, and that is fair. Tejada will score. Make it 6.
If you're Scott Hedberg and David Justice, you're up on the top step welcoming Tejada. Terrence Long again coming through, pulling the ball and just reacting. You're going to see a lot more confidence in T. Long right now. And how many times do you see a pitcher gets second and third, gets the 2 batters, and then not able to get the 3rd out? And Tejada comes through big time.
He's taking a page out of the Seattle Mariner run scoring playbook as they come up with a couple of big 2-out hits. The inning started with Greg Myers drawing a walk, a 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia is going to make a move. Not wasting any time.
Kevin Appier, who was so tough on the A's last Sunday in Anaheim, is going to have a very short afternoon today as he goes 2 2/3 and gives up 6 runs so far. 6-0 A's. One week from today, Tim Hudson's bobblehead doll will be given away here to the first 15,000 fans that enter the Coliseum gates to watch the A's take on the White Sox promptly at 1:05. That'll be brought to you courtesy of Pepsi and Albertsons. For tickets, call 510-762-BALL or get online at OaklandAthletics.com. Kevin Appier last Sunday went 7, gave up only 1 run and 4 hits. In this inning alone, he gets completely blasted, giving up all 6 runs and 5 of those hits, and he is knocked out. Mark Lukashevich made his 8th appearance of the year last night. And fits pretty well out of the bullpen for the Angels. Greg Myers, base hit. Long will check it out and stop.
A young man with Roy Steele is announcing his 11th batter in this at the bottom of the 3rd inning.
He's not going to finish at 11.
First base.
He can't go anywhere, this kid.
Say, wait a minute, I've already said these guys once in this inning.
What a great career Roy Steele had. All ending here.
Yeah, but when Roy announces the 4th inning, there's a little difference in the voice.
I'd let Roy do the Angels 4th, but the bottom of the 4th, you got to bring the kid back. Come on. 6 runs. Strike. Carlos Pena feeling the vibe of the young man here on Kids Opening Day. Carlos is the youngest Oakland A. Way in tight. Actually, Barry Zito is going to turn 24 4 days before Pena does. Barry turns 24 on May the 13th and Carlos on May the 17th. So they're pretty close. Big swing, trying to make it a 2-homer inning. That's a rarity, huh? Mac the last one? At Fenway, was that? No. Seattle. 1996.
Was Tatis the last of the National League when he hit the slam? Carroll's last year? Tatis hit 2 slams in one inning, didn't he?
Yeah. A lot of stakes. Pena lays off. Second base, Terrence Long after his RBI single. Greg Myers picked up a single. How long has it been here? Barry Zito. He's all right, though. They scored 6 runs for him, but this bottom of the 3rd with a pitching change and 6-run scoring has gone a long while. It ends with a strikeout looking for Pena. Lukashevich gets him. Pena, a big homer. Miguel Tejada, though, the big hit, a 3-run double as the A's score 6 times. Our Aflac trivia question today on this, the first Saturday afternoon of baseball in Oakland. Who was the last A's third baseman to lead the American League in home runs? Oh, the last third baseman to lead the A's in home runs. Pardon me. Last third baseman to lead the A's in home runs.
And of course, you say Athletics, which you could go back to Philadelphia, Kansas City, or Oakland.
Hasn't happened in Oakland? Troy Gloss will lead off the 4th inning. Troy Gloss led the American League in homers 2 years ago with 47. Only the 4th third baseman to lead the league in homers the last 50 years. And the first since Greg Nettles hit 32 for the Yankees in the late 70s.
32. Might have times have changed.
How many guys hit 30 last year? 40?
Ask David, he'll tell you.
I bet it's close. I bet 30 guys hit 30. Guy hit 73. Off the clock there. What a shot by Gloss, foul.
Is that your football clock?
That's the clock. That's the Rich Gannon clock. Play clock.
Might have a few bulbs missing.
Rich Gannon's often pointed that out. Where's that clock? Gloss gets under this one. Left center, pretty well struck, and that one is going to be way out here. Look at it landed. What a shot by Gloss, who can hit him as far as anybody in the game when he gets one. That's his 4th of the year. And Barry Zito's shutout is no longer. The Angels have it down to 6-1.
Well, it might have been the difference, a 6-run lead, because he challenged him with a fastball, and Troy Gloss and Gloss indicated right there maybe he threw his bat a little bit in disgust. Maybe he didn't think he got it, but ball carried as he uses a 34-ounce bat normally. And With his swing and his power, he gets into it. He can lift it that high and still carry it.
Now Garrett Anderson takes one towards the gap in left center the other way, right off the base of the wall. So a homer and a double right after Barry got 6 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, the worst thing a pitcher can do is change his whole pitching philosophy because he has a big lead. And again, Challenger lost 2 and 2, and then Garrett Anderson first pitch hitting with a double to left field. Pitch your game, pitch for a shutout.
Designated hitter is
Salmon walked his first time up. He walked a couple of times last night. We asked the question about who was the last A to lead the club in homers, because obviously Eric Chavez coming into the game today led the team, and co-led the American League with 6, but now he's been tied by Carlos Pena. Well, I would think Sal Bando. Although Reggie probably always passed him. Salmon to right, and Terrence Long, or pardon me, David Justice in right field will make the catch for the first out.
And to that at bat to Salmon, starting with a changeup, then a curveball, and gets one out. Pitch crisp, Barry Zito, four-seam fastball, and here's a strikeout to Devannon. And of course, we talked about the great curveball. There's the grip on his curve, and watch this hook to Palmeiro. I mean, his shoulder thought he's going to get hit. Next thing you know, he's having to swing it just to try to make contact. So 2 of 3 pitches thrown by Barry. Changeup is the other, and probably before the end of the game, should have a strikeout of the changeup. Show that grip as well.
Ooh, fastball, he hit Molina.
Catcher gets enough foul balls off his feet, and then he gets one thrown by a pitcher right at his feet.
Let's take a listen here.
Check right down. Hey, got it.
Man. But Barry overthrew that fastball. That was supposed to be a fastball. It was not close. So Rick Peterson, sensing an obvious change in Zito, where there was a long time on the bench while the A's scored the 6 runs. A pitching change also occurred. The A's sent 11 batters to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd, or just the fact that he's lost a little focus with the 6-0 lead. Leadoff homer to Gloss was a shot, and Anderson doubled the other way off the base of the wall. Salmon flies to right, and now he hits Molina. This kid's ready. He wants his hacks. What's he got there?
I don't know. Trying to figure that out myself.
A little toy or candy of some kind? A little dispenser of some kind? It's a little candy dispenser, the Spider-Man. Spezio walked his first time up today. He fouls one straight back.
Greg Myers made me realize is the fastball is not working for Barry Zito right now, and best pitches seem to be the curveball and the changeup. Fastball to Gloss, home run. Looked like fastball to Anderson for the double. Fastball hit Molina. Got Salmon out on a change and a curveball, and now back-to-back changeup to Spezio.
To right field. David Justice back. He's got it. 2-run.
Well, Garrett Anderson has no desire to tag up. I thought with Justice backpedaling that he would at least go to third base, but he did not.
Yeah, he would have made that easily. A deep drive to right, and Justice was moving back on the ball. Justice will see his former teammates on Tuesday night when the Yankees are in. El Duque will pitch here on Tuesday. Orlando Hernandez was off to a great start against Tim Hudson. What a matchup that'll be. If Jermaine Dye does return on Tuesday, if that's the day they take him off the disabled list, his first at bat is going to be against El Duque. That was the pitcher on the mound here in Game 4 last October the 14th when Jermaine fouled that ball off his left shin and broke his tibia. Nieves pulls one. Base hit to left field. Garrett Anderson going to come around and score. The Angels get a leadoff home run from Troy Glaus. Now a two-out single from the second baseman Jose Nieves against Barry Zito. And they've gotten back into the ring here in the fourth with a couple of runs to cut the A's lead to 6-2.
Stayed on the curveball quite well. Pitch ended up being down, but went down and got it. And solid single to left field.
Now here's Orlando Palmeiro, who Barry struck out his first time, buckling at that nasty curveball. Gets another and takes it for a ball. Strike for the fastball. We will be seeing David Wells here on Wednesday night. We'll have that for you on Fox Sports Net on Wednesday.
Well, he tried to put his
leaned
arm.
in, didn't he? Tried to get hit with that pitch.
No, blatant there. That's where an umpire really, if he did hit him, would have to overrule it, because it's one thing to get hit, it's another thing to actually put your elbow in front of the ball.
He's clearly trying to get on base here to let Eckstein, who was hurt Barry.
It's a right elbow.
Oh, man. That would be interesting. I've never seen an actually guy get hit, nullify it, but does that, but they're supposed to. He's trying to get on because Eckstein has had some great at-bats against Zito today, and he had 3 hits against him last Sunday, and he has done it. Palmeiro did not get hit, but he wasn't too anxious to swing. He walks, and right away the A's begin to head towards the bullpen. 75 pitches through just 3 2/3, so the bullpen will be in play today. Sunday, Barry threw exactly 100 pitches in 6 innings. Now, he's way off that pace. And he throws ball 1 to Eckstein. Eckstein 3 hits against Zito and 3 at-bats on Sunday. Today he is 1 for 2. Fly to center, singled sharply to left last time up, and then stole second base.
Relief pitchers, as they normally do, will go up in the clubhouse after a couple of innings and do their routines, but now hustling back. Chad Bradford up, but it was the 4th inning the way Zito was pitching the first 3, giving up just 2 hits, that this would not be occurring in this inning.
Eckstein to left field. Jeremy Giambi racing back, is going to get there and make the catch right on the edge of the warning track to get Zito out of it with just a 2-run scoring. He gave back 2 of them, but he still leads 6-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Earlier, I asked the Aflac trivia question. Wanted to know who was the last third baseman for the A's to lead the club in home runs. Wayne Gross hit 22 in 1977. Sal Bando, we were wondering if he was going to be the guy. Eric Chavez right now is co-leading along with Carlos Pena. Carlos hit his 6th today to tie Eric for club lead and league lead with 3 others. Sal Bando, Eric hit 32 last year to break Sal's record for most homers by a third baseman in franchise history. Sal hit 31 in 69, but Reggie that year hit 47. Sal Bando hit 28 homers in 73. Reggie that year hit 32. But in the 76 year, when Reggie was traded to Baltimore, Sal did lead the A's in homers with 27. So back-to-back years, Sal with 27 in 76, and then Wayne Gross with 22 in 77. Jeremy Giambi leading off the 4th inning against Mark Lukashevitz in replacing Kevin Appier. Jeremy saw Lukashevitz last night in one at-bat and bounced out to second against him. Lukashevitz went 1 1/3 last night. Did not allow a hit, just walked one guy. And Peterson talking to Zito about giving back 2 of the 6 the club scored for him.
Yeah, Barry Zito very fortunate. It was David Eckstein who hit the ball for the final out.
Jeremy's on base again with a leadoff single here in the 4th. He is 2 for 3 today.
Might be one of those days to get as many as you can. For Jeremy, the bat is back. That's the key. And keeps the bat back, even though his first hit, his first, back in the 3rd inning. Last inning that was full, but keeping the bat back, have some strength with the upper body to be able to hit a single as he did to right field in his last at bat.
And he says he can still swing a little better. He's not quite on Jeremy, but he's had some good at-bats. He's gotten off to a terrific start this year. Frank Menachino hit a double to left center his last time up. A shot off the wall in deep left center, more towards center. Came on to score on Miguel Tejada's bases clearing double. With the lefty Lukashevitz on the mound against Spezio, will move off the base with Giambi. Strike, inside edge. 1 and 2 on Frank.
And a shot of Scott Spezio, as we've talked about before, with the left-hander, he plays off the bag there. There's some talk that kind of blinds the runner at first base a little bit. That say Jeremy's tough for him to see the hitter, and Spezio will go back and forth. And there's sometimes that will disrupt the runner at first.
Is that part of the motivation?
I think a little bit of it, yes.
Anderson won't get this ball. It's behind the bullpen of the crowd a couple of rows.
I think especially with a non-base stealing threat at first base.
Luke Pope looks like he's going to be next in line. He is the Angels' long man, right-hander throwing in the bullpen. Is Kevin Appier got through just 2 2/3 today. Aaron Seeley is going to pitch for them tomorrow night. There's a strike. And Menachino is out on strikes. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
Right-handers have to make an adjustment. Accustomed with the right-hander, Kevin Appier, the breaking pitch is going away from them. And all of a sudden, a lefty comes into the right-handers, and the breaking ball comes inside.
Here's Scott Hatteberg. Hatteberg 0 for 2, fouled out to left his first time up, takes a fastball strike here. And then last at bat, remember, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and he popped to short. And David Justice popped out to shallow center, taken by the second baseman Nieves. It looked like the A's may not score any more than the 2 on the homer by Pena, but after Appier fell behind Chavez 2-0, they walked Eric intentionally, and Tejada nearly at a home run off the scoreboard. He doubled in 3 runs. Mark Lukashevitz. Well, strike 2. This guy's looked impressive a little bit. We've seen him in this weekend and last weekend. Actually, was a round 1 pick of the Blue Jays back in June of '93. All going to roll down the third base line, but not far enough for Jeremy to advance on Molina. Lukashevitz is the pronunciation. Hatteberg takes it, and as he often does, the count goes full, 3-2.
We'll see what Jeremy does off first base. Only 1 out, but manager has to have confidence in the hitter that he puts the ball in play. And, you know, not a bad idea to try to stay out of the double play, especially with Spezio not really holding the runner on. Jeremy can get an extra lead off first.
Hatteberg takes strike 3 called. That pitch fooled him a bit, and Lukashevitz strikes out 2 in a row looking.
Well, the breaking ball, and this time right to Hatteberg, outside corner across a lot of the plate. Scotty thought the pitch was outside, a little bit high, but thinking about Mike Everett today, he has called the high strike.
Now David Justice with 2 outs. David 1 for 2 today with a double and a pop out behind second. We're waiting, and Shulak eventually does give us his verdict. It's a strike.
David does this often where he'll start his swing and then freeze. That's not a swing.
No.
Like that.
He's leaving the bat there to show that he did not swing. And John Shulak, in his unique style, set a strike. Count is 2-1 to David. David has hit lefties exactly the same as he has hit righties in his career. 281 against lefties and 280 against righties. Count is 3-1 here. Before the A's made the trade to get David Justice, the Yankees dealt him to the Mets for Robin Ventura, you'll recall. And Ventura's had a bounce-back year with the Yankees. This one going to drop in center field for a base hit. David Justice continues his strong play with his new team. That's his second hit. Giambi down to second base, and inning alive for Eric Chavez here. David Justice will be facing Boomer Wells in the New York Yankees coming up on Wednesday night. We'll have that game for you pregame at 6:30. Glenn Kuiper will be dropping by. Then we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock for Wells against Eric Hilius. That's Wednesday night, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. A's and the Yankees.
And the Yankees were down 4-1. They'd come back to tie the Blue Jays in the 9th inning, 4-4. His big brother Jason, 268 average, 3 home runs, 9 ribbies. Jeremy 4 and 5 with a 328, actually higher batting average now. And I think Jeremy truly enjoying now being out of big brother shadow, the way he has started this season. Playing well every day as a leadoff hitter in left field. Being able to be himself. I guess the scholarship ran out last year.
He doesn't need it. He got a nice contract himself in the offseason. Jeremy did. Carlos Pena takes over at first base. There will be a lot of comparisons you'll be reading in the paper on Monday and Tuesday as Giambi comes back to town, comparing Pena to Giambi and the numbers they have put up respectively, and Carlos has out-homered him 6-3. Jason, of course, got off to a very slow start with the Yankees, but they're getting to pick it up now, and he's hitting out of the number 4 hole. With Bernie Williams back, is he still hitting 4? I'm going to check that. Jeter, they actually, Bernie was gone for 3 days with some shoulder injuries, and they put Jeter in the 3 hole. But even before that, Bernie was hitting 3 and Giambi 4. Bernie's hitting 2. Now Jeter 3 and Giambi 4. Eric Chavez, the appeal. Shulock says no swing this time, and the count is 2-2. Another guy who was emerging with Jason's departure is Eric Chavez. Second base, Jeremy Giambi. First base, David Justice. 2 outs. 2-2 pitch coming. Strike 3 called. Lucas Shevitz struck out the side, and all the strikes 3 were called by the plate umpire Mike Everett.
Yeah, they're all the same pitch. Hatteberg with a breaking ball after Medicino, and now Chavez.
Oh, so much going on in the world of sports. This Saturday, the NBA playoffs underway. The NHL playoffs are raging. The NFL draft. This guy's reading all about it. Actually dropped off the Chronicles in her seats today. Nice touch. Jeff DeVannen.
Behind both dugouts, the MVP section. A lot of newspapers today. Is that the late or early edition?
Not certain. I'm half watching this game, Ray. Jeff DeVannen. We're getting an update on Jason Giambi.
Listen to David do the play-by-play of the recreation off the internet.
Sounded like Ronald Reagan.
Struck out with the bases loaded in bottom of the lane. Chance to win it.
Oh, you think that was a quick delivery there? He didn't even sell it. Strike 1. And he faced Dan Plesac, bottom of the 9th. Game tied at 4, and he struck out looking. Swing. They tell you that on the computer, swinging or swing. So he strikes out 0 for 5 for Jason Giambi today. And they'll go to the 10th in the Bronx, Yanks and Blue Jays. 2-1 pitch. Harry Zito goes 3-1 on DeVannen. Harry Zito allowed a couple of runs in the 4th. Leadoff homer to Troy Gloss. Gloss is on deck, and he's going to face him with DeVannen at first base after a 5-pitch walk, as once again, like his start Sunday in Anaheim, Barry having a hard time locating his fastball here. NHL playoffs are getting spicier and spicier. We're going to have game 3 for you as they go back to Phoenix Monday night at 7 o'clock. Sharks and Coyotes, and they go back to Phoenix now, tied at 1-1. Just moments ago, Sharks lose at home to the Phoenix Coyotes by a score of 3-1. This is a best of 7. Game 3 is going to be more and more important now, with the Coyotes getting their split. It'll be a big one Monday night at 7 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net. Jeff Tam gets up in the A's bullpen. Earlier it was Chad Bradford who was throwing. Troy Gloss, the batter, hit a long home run. Out to left center his last time up, his 4th of the year, and the Angels' 7th homer all year. Loss has 4. Garrett Anderson has 2, both against the A's. And Spezio also has 1 against the A's on Thursday. So they've hit 4 of their 7 home runs off of A's pitching. Before he homered to left center, Troy singled to left off of Zito.
See a lot of changeups in this at bat. Not a bad idea because Gloss, an excellent fastball hitter.
This one's foul, and it was a fastball, Ray, that he homered off of last at bat.
Tried to challenge him 2-2 and missed. Gloss threw his bat there. He did not think he hit that home run. That's a
great miss.
Yeah, throwing his bat, a little frustration. Oh, just got under it, and next thing you know, he's trying. Oh, to be strong. Yes. And young, just like you.
He is, isn't he? Incredible. And he used to be a shortstop, which is the amazing thing. For his size. One-two pitch. Troy is out of Southern California. You know about him going to UCLA and breaking Mark McGwire's Pac-10 home run record his junior year when he had 34. And he also grew up in San Diego, went to Carlsbad High School. And that San Diego area is turning out some third basemen now. Hank Blaylock's from down there. Sean Burrows from there. Obviously, Eric Chavez is from there.
Be surprised if Havana runs with a home run hitter at the plate. Very thrown over now 3 times in this at bat.
Pulls it, Chavez. Nice play. But he threw a little wide. Safe at second baseman. Aquino came off the base. Devannon is called safe as Eric Chavez made a nice pick going down the line with a backhand play, but threw a little wide to second base. Loss reaches. Devannon at second base.
Caught the ball. He just threw it too quickly, and Frankie Menachino is lucky to catch the ball. Better angle. Let's see if we can see if he kept his foot on the bag. Second base umpire right there looking at it, and was not able to keep his foot on. Don't think. Yeah, pulled it off right there when he caught it. Eric gets some error. Fielder's choice. E5.
That's his 3rd error of the year. Third base has been the problem spot for the A's defensively. Tomato Signs has 5 errors, and Eric has 3, so 8 of the total of 11 at third base. Art House coming out himself now. Rick Peterson went out last inning, and now the boss is going out. Art's taking charge here.
Well, it's very nice to see Art run out, because at that point, if you're the pitcher, you know you're not being taken out. It's Art might have seen something, or just felt that he wanted to go out and tell Barry, hey, just calm down, use all of your pitches, and get through it.
Well, it's obvious he's not the same guy that started the game. Last weekend in Anaheim, he threw a changeup here to Garrett Anderson. And Anderson hit quite a home run. Zito later said it wasn't a bad pitch, really. It was a changeup that ran right back into his bat. It was a curveball strike called by the plate umpire Mike Everett. Count is 2-1 to Anderson. The last at bat doubled the other way. Off the wall to the left center off of Zito. Second base, Devannon walked. And then Gloss reached on the fielder's choice, and Devannon was safe on the throwing error by Chavez. Foul.
That's the pitch they feel they can get Anderson out with, especially with Zito's curveball. Fastball, changeup, especially the one that he threw last Sunday, was up. And that's what enabled Anderson to hit it as well as he did. And it was Anderson who got 2 curveballs in one of Barry Zito's first start as a major leaguer, then threw a fastball and he doubled down the right field line. Stays with it this time.
Up the middle and through. Devannon racing around third. He will score. Loss goes to third. The Angels have cut into half of their 6-0 deficit as Garrett Anderson picks up the RBI single. Anderson's 10th ribby of the year, and it's 6-3.
Came back with another curve but left it up. Did not have the sharp bite to it, and this is the last pitch, and Barry Zito's not going to qualify for the win. Art House not going to give him the opportunity.
Barry had gone at least 6 in his first 3 outings despite not winning, but today he goes only 4+. Barry Zito in his first 3 outings this year went 6 2/3, and last outing he went 6 in his duel with Kevin Appier. And we thought we would have a great pitching rematch between Appier and Zito today. Made it our Pepsi Spotlight, and both pitchers get knocked out early. Appier gives up 6 in the 3rd. And Barry Zito, after the A's got that 6th spot for him, Ray, for whatever reason, just was not the same guy anymore.
He was not. It all started with Troy Gloss when he threw him the fastball 2-2, tried to challenge him and hit the home run, and then 2 of that inning, then walked to lead off this inning. So the A's will have to turn it over to the bullpen for the next 5 innings.
And Jeff Tam, those numbers may seem high to you, but they're actually coming down a little bit as Jeff is pitching better. Garrett Anderson, a good runner, is over at first base. Troy Gloss is the runner at third base. It was the A's that came from way behind last night to make it a game, down 9-1 at one point, to eventually lose 9-7. Now the Angels trying to go that route, down 6-0, now within 6-3. Batter is Tim Salmon. Salmon walked his first time up against Zito, but flied to right. Jeff Tam so good at getting those double plays. And the A's would like one here. With nobody out, they are dropping the infield back. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike as Tam left that pitch up.
Jeff Tam had some problems last year and during the offseason with his right shoulder. And during the non-surgery repair of his shoulder, he did not have surgery, but he felt that kind of lost his release point. But then he found it, especially in his last appearance, last 2 appearances, felt a lot better, starting to get the good movement on his pitches, especially away. So they had trouble extending to get the outside part of the plate to right-handers with the slider, as well as the comeback fastball to the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, he did not pitch nearly as well late last year, largely because of that injury in the right shoulder, Ray. Got off to a great slow start last year. His ERA in April was over 6, but then he pitched extremely well from May through August. The runner takes off. Anderson going to steal it without a throw. It's a strike at the plate, 1-2 on Salmon. But Garrett Anderson takes the ground ball double play away by stealing second.
Greg Myers did not throw because of the great jump by Anderson. It wasn't a matter of the runner at third base. The A's have the lead, have a 3-run lead. He just knew he had no chance and not want to take a chance of making a quick throw and making an errant throw.
First stolen base of the year for Garrett Anderson. So the Angels have second and third and nobody out here. The very scenario the A's were presented back in the third. Salmon in the air is going to drive in a run, at least one. That's a shot to right center, and it's off the wall. It's going to score two. Loss scores, Anderson scores, and Tim Salmon trying to come out of his year-plus funk. Hits one the other way for 2 runs, both of which will be charged to Barry Zito. And the A's lead is down to a single run.
The batter, catcher, Ben Molina.
Tim Salmon looked like even with 2 strikes just trying to go opposite field. There's a fastball away, not much movement, and Salmon just drove it well. He was going to get what he thought maybe a sac fly and move Anderson over to third, but just split the gap in right center.
Salmon only 3 RBIs coming into the game, picks up 2 right there on the swing. Benji Molina now, very aggressive hitter, fouls one out of play into the crowd of better than 20,000. 20,253 today on Kids opening day. There's 15,000 picked up the A's car flag from Majestic. Flag is blowing the other direction now. A's with 6 in the third to go up big on Appier. And the Angels are right back into the game now. It's 6-5. Molina will push Salmon to third. Nicely done. Hitting the ball the other way. 1 out, but Salmon can tie the game from third.
Now batting, first baseman, Scott Spezio.
See how Art Howe plays the infield now with Scott Spezio coming into the box. The switch hitter will bat left-handed. He's going to bring him in. And on the grass on the left side with Chavez and Tejada, Menachino and Pena are back a little bit on the right side. If he pulls it, it'll be a sharper hit ball. Mike Venafro gets up in the A's bullpen as Spezio rolls 1 foul.
Salmon taking off, so he is going to go on contact even with the A's infield end. Any ball on the ground, he will take off. So it's at an infielder. The A's should get it out at the plate.
Spezio fouled that off his foot, it looked like. The Angels came to town unable to score any runs at all. Scored just 2 on Thursday, but 9 last night. And they get 2 in the 4th and 3 more so far in the 5th, and have Salmon at third and just 1 out. Way in tight, all the way to the backstop, and that'll score Salmon. The Angels complete their comeback. It is a wild pitch. We are tied at 6 after Zito had a 6-0 lead. Who would have thought?
Myers outside, the pitch inside. And Salmon easily able to score. 2 and a 4. The last 2 innings.
This first run is charged. This run here is charged to Tam. And Zito gives up 5. And 4+ for Barry Zito today. This is his shortest outing since last July the 24th, when he lost at the Metrodome in Minnesota. Went just 2 innings in that game, and that's the game where he actually, that game was here against the Twins here in Oakland. That was the game that turned his season around, because he hit rock bottom and his dad came to visit him, and he really finished up strong the last couple of months after that.
Well, there was the ground ball that would have been right at Menachino with the infield in, but the wild pitch allowed the tying run to score. This is the top of the 5th already. Been a lot of pitches thrown already.
Had some long innings today. The bottom of the 3rd, when the A's scored 6 and 11 to the box and changed pitchers. And the Angel top of the 5th here has been excruciating long for Barry Zito and the A's. Batter now is Jose Nieves. Nieves singled in their second run. Loss hit the homer on that 2-2 fastball to make it 6-1. And Nieves brought in another run with a 2-out single. This one is a lazy fly ball to two. Will take it on the side. Will pick it up, but Terrence Long will catch it. There, Zito is knocked out, and the A's lead is all gone. Tied at 6 halfway through it. Boy, busy Pac-Bell line score. A's got 6 in the third, but the Angels come roaring back and knock Zito out. And we are tied at 6. Time for the A's to bring out the big bats here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Our Volvo grand slam 5th inning. Congratulations to Joanne Colonico, I believe it's pronounced, in San Francisco. Joanne's already won a couple of tickets to watch the A's play. And she's looking for big things. A slam. Anybody hits a bases loaded bomb. Joanne's driving around town in a brand new Volvo S60. Tejada wraps one right to second in Nieves, and he is out with a scoop from Spezio. One away. Tejada's last at bat, one of his big ones of the year when he doubled off the wall with the bases loaded. And this at bat, first pitch, he grounds out to second. Now Terrence Long will be the batter. The Angels, you may have noticed, have a new pitcher. Lefty Mark Lukashevich pitched well. Got 4 outs, all via strikeout. And they turn things over to the Angel long man, right-hander Lou Pote.
Barry Zito sticking around to watch the remainder of this game. A lot of times the pitcher will go to the bullpen or go upstairs. But I think he's trying to figure out what happened.
T. Long takes a strike. Well, if I was Joanne Colonico and I could get a brand new Volvo S60 at the age of the Grand Slam, with all due respect to Roy Steele, I think I'd go find that kid. Where's that kid? Get that kid back on the public address. Strike 3 called. Joanne's running out of time here. Luke Polk with a nasty breaking ball. What a great curve. 2 outs.
I don't think Terrence Long liked it as it came in and just dropped down. He lifted his arms, and he's got to be thinking it's inside. When he lifted his arms there.
Luke Polk is considered to have the best curveball on the Angels staff. He has a fastball to the low 90s. He actually throws his curveball, they say, with more command. And there's another one for a strike, but he throws his fastball with command. Greg Myers walked his first time up, came around the score on Carlos Pena's 2-run homer back in the 3rd. And he singled. In that very same inning. He had 2 plate appearances. Quickly down 0-2. Poe trying to make this a quick Volvo grand slam. Now it's 1-2. Greg Myers with a poke. Ball going to come back to Anderson. He'll make the backhand catch. Boy, he is good at that. We saw him rob Scott Hatteberg in a very similar play in Anaheim on Sunday. Ray going to a backhand.
Ball slicing back to him, but still reaches down and very casually, confidently makes the catch.
Got a big U-turn on this Subaru line score today. The A's got 6 in the 3rd, and the Angels came right back off of Zito and have tied the game at 6. Our Carl's Jr. in-your-face play from today, just moments ago. Garrett Anderson does it again, this time to Greg Myers. He robbed Hatteberg last week in a similar play. And actually, remember that catch he made on Mike Colangelo later in the game. He's played some good defense against the A's the last 2 weekends.
Not afraid to take chances, and a lot of times you're going to be successful when you do that.
He has a casual way about him. Remember when he first came up, they was comparing him to Jim Edmonds, who was their center fielder at the time, and Tim Sam, and I thought this guy doesn't play hard enough. But unlike those two guys, he's been able to stay healthy, and also Darren Erstad for that matter. Got his 0-2. Jeff DeVannen, who was playing in right today. Pardon me, this is Orlando Palmeiro who's playing in right today. Van Eckstein and then DeVannen. Palmeiro a late add to their lineup. Brad Fulmer has a thumb injury, and Darren Erstad, the last check before the game, was still at Summit Medical Center after suffering a mild concussion last night. Percival, just moments after the game ended last night, he picked up the save out of the clubhouse and went over to Southern Medical Center to see how Erstad was.
Not a bad gesture for a pitcher who pitchers always appreciate. Infielders and outfielders who play hard, especially the way Darren Erstad does. You have to hope for the best for him.
Angels off to a slow start this year. Had lost 10 of their first 15 after losing here on Thursday. But their bats, Mickey Hatcher, their hitting instructor, their bats are beginning to come alive a little bit here. That's a check and off the bat foul to stay at 1-2.
Angels took batting practice in the batting cage today, and I saw Mickey Hatcher heading up that way, and I said, why? He said, sometimes it's better not to let hitters look at the fences. In a batting cage, you swing, you concentrate on your swing. Sometimes you get out and on the field, try to hit home runs and get in some bad habits.
A lot of truth to that, huh? A lot of times in BP, they just try to hit the ball as far as they can. Jason Giambi, when he was an A, would never take BP on the field during home games. He'd hit in the cage underneath. Palmeiro rolls one to Pena. The ball's behind him. And that'll be his first error as an Oakland A.
Well, it's as easy a play as you'll ever have as a first baseman. Went in, charged it. Thought he had it in his hand, but stayed up in the top of the webbing of his glove and never actually had it. That's a strange feeling, too. You start to throw a ball and you realize you don't have it.
Ken Maka hit some ground ball after ground ball before games, and purposely tries to hit him as hard as he can to make him miss ball, so he gongs him. That gong there, that wasn't even a good one. And that opens it up for Mike Scioscia to do what he likes here. You got David Eckstein, who's a great bunter, handles the bat very well. Orlando Palmeiro at first base has speed. Eckstein last year led the American League in sacrifices with 16. Jeff Tam on in relief for Barry Zito. Eckstein is going to bunt. Tam only has one play, and he will throw out Eckstein. Palmeiro goes to second base. Eckstein gives himself up, one away. Chad Bradford gets up again in the A's bullpen, as does Mike Venefro. Venefro has not worked in a week since last Saturday at Anaheim, when he had a tremendous outing out of the bullpen. Made the A's 2 very strong innings that night.
Talked to him after the game about that, and he said, no, it's been 5 days. And I said, count them again. Oh, you're right. And he threw those back-to-back changeups to Tim Salmon to get him out.
That was the big out of the game. He struck him out. He's won that game last Saturday night by a score of 7-2. Now here's Jeff Devannon. Devannon has flied to right. He struck out. Last time up he walked, though. A leadoff walk issued by Barry Zito. Tam goes 2-0. Tam gave up a double immediately upon coming into the game. A 2-run double by Tim Salmon. But then he responded, retired 3 in a row to get out of the inning. Already had Orlando Palmeiro to open the inning, but Carlos Pena, very unusual for him. Just clanked the ball, had it in his glove, and just left it there. Two-0 pitch. Now Tam falls behind 3-0.
Definitely not pitching around if he gets a 12 loss.
I would think not. Well, if you're Devannon, you're in a good spot today, hitting ahead of Gloss. He already has walked once. There's a strike. The A's have got to fire back up. They've lost their edge a bit after losing a 6-0 lead, but a lot of baseball to be played yet. We're only in the 6th inning.
Well, I saw the longest homestand for the Athletics in the 1 and 3, a place where they played extremely well last year. And want to do well at home, especially in your longest homestand.
The A's had a 20-game home winning streak. Wake up, Michael Z. It's tough when you're at the big lens and you're in on the plate. The ball
comes right at you.
Rolls right into you. Michael Zagaris, the A's team photographer. Not with the Niners today, undrafted. NFL draft, day 1 of it at least, going on today at Madison Square Garden in New York. The Raiders with a bunch of picks. The John Gruden draft, this one will be known for. Raiders with a 21st pick, a 23rd pick, a 53rd, and a 55th. Al Davis did some wheeling and dealing to move up in the draft today.
How many draft choices did they get for losing Gruden?
They got 4 in total, 2 1s and 2 2s. The Raiders traded up the 21 pick that they got from Tampa to Washington to get the 17th pick, and they took Philip Buchanan, thought to be the 2nd best cover corner in the draft behind Jammer. That's quite a coup for the Raiders there. They took Napoleon Harris with their own 23rd pick later in the 1st round. The Niners also went for a cornerback with their 1st round selection. They chose later in the 1st round with a 27th overall pick. They took Mike Rump. They need those extra DBs the Niners do to match up with the Rams and their multi-wide receiver sets. Meanwhile, 3-2 on Devannon. Orlando Palmeiro runs at 2nd base after reaching on the Pena error. He was bunted there by Eckstein. 6-6 game. This one is squibbed fair. Chavez will fire. Nice play to get Devannon by a step. Nicely done coming in, throwing off balance. But he nails Devannon 2 away.
With a play like that, you'd have to think Eric Chavez is healthy. Well, that is a very tough play. Slowly hit. He has to concentrate and then get in a position to throw. And throw off balance. But a strong throw, good stretch by Pena on the other end.
So Palmeiro has to hold his ground. The batter now is Troy Gloss. First base is open, and the batter on deck is Garrett Anderson. Gloss moving up in their batting order today against the lefty Zito. Hitting third. Didn't check it. It's a strike.
I don't think you'll find many times throughout a season that you can give Barry Zito a 6-0 lead and not walk out without a victory, and not even close. But unusual today. But maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe it's something that he realized that happened, and we're not having it happen again. Pitchers love support. When they get it, they hate to lose it.
And he's not like a Jack Morris. Jack is well known for pitching to the scoreboard. Barry, usually, if he gets a big lead, it doesn't matter. You don't rack up the kind of ERAs he has in his career pitching to the scoreboard. He just tries to get batters out. Maybe it was the long time on that bench when the A's were batting in the bottom of the third. Whatever it was, he just never got his rhythm back.
The A's in a situation with Gloss facing Tam, and if he loses him with the left-hander, you figure that Venafro is going to come in to face Garrett Anderson. But the deeper it goes in the count of the favor of the hitter, Jeff Tam still has to rely on his best stuff and hope that he can keep the sinker down in the zone.
Lost down the line, and that's a fair ball in the corner. The Angels have the lead. Orlando Palmeiro will score. For the air by Carlos Pena here. Turns out to be a costly one. Troy Gloss picks up his second RBI of the afternoon. Jeff Tam is going to be replaced by Mike Venafro to pitch to Garrett Anderson. The A's have got to find a way to turn this momentum around. The Angels have it all now in their dugout. After being down 6-0, the Angels have the lead at 7-6. And they may not be done after Gloss doubles in a run. He's in scoring position for Garrett Anderson. Alongside Ray Fosse, Greg Papa back with you in Oakland. The A's in need of a pick-me-up. Hope it comes in the form of lefty Mike Venafro here. Mike has not worked in exactly a week. It was last Saturday in Anaheim. He came out of the bullpen to make that 6th appearance, and he had arguably his best outing of the year as he got through 2 innings, striking out 2 men, did not allow a hit, threw only 19 pitches, and as Ray noted earlier, he had a big strikeout against Tim Salmon, and back-to-back changeups that helped to turn that game around. Well, actually, they keep the game exactly what it was because the A's were out in front. He'll face Garrett Anderson here. Troy Gloss in scoring position after his RBI double gives the Angels the lead. And to throw the side armor, slips a strike into Anderson. This is away, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. We've been reading a lot in the Bay Area papers about the A's and what they will do when Jermaine Dye is activated. Jermaine Dye was not activated before the game today. It may happen still some point on this homestand. The A's, of course, had the 3 lefties in the bullpen. Mike Magnotti, Mike Holtz, and Mike Venafro. Mike Venafro actually has options left, meaning that he can be sent to the minor leagues, and the A's would not run the risk of losing him. This one is hit sharply foul, and the count goes to 2-2. Gloss will race back to second base.
For Venafro to keep the ball away from Garrett Anderson. He is more of a pull hitter now than what he was a few years ago when he had a lot to left field. Covers a lot of plate.
He's become a home run hitter. Pitch way away, and he's able to lay off in time. Last year he had 28 homers. The year before he had 35. In the 2000 year, including 26 in the first half alone. Pops this one. Shallow left, Tejada out, Giambi in. Giambi with a basket catch in the body. Will keep the baseball. Well, a little dicey there for Jeremy, but he's able to take it to retire Garrett Anderson. Venefro gets his man. The A's get out of the inning, but the Angels have the lead. They were down 6-0. They now lead 7-6 after 5½. Well, the Oakland A's are now down incredibly after being up 6-0. They scored 6 in the bottom of the third. The A's trail 7-6 as they come to bat in the bottom of the sixth. But again, a lot of baseball yet to be played. They just got to get a little bit more of a pick-me-up in that dugout and see if the A's can get a little bounce in their step. Carlos Pena homered in the third to give the A's a 2-0 lead, his 6th of the year. Last time up against Mark Lukashevich, he struck out looking. Now facing the righty Lou Post, who was very tough on the A's in the 5th. Set him down 1-2-3. Pitch away. Here's the home run that Carlos set against Kevin Appier.
About 4 hours ago, wasn't it? Good swing at the foul pole. A's off to 2-0 lead, but seems like it was forever.
A lot has happened since, to be certain. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pena. Jeremy Giambi and Frank Menachino, the top of the order, will follow Pena. Number 9 hitter in the lineup, and he's got a share of the league lead in home runs. Strikes out of a nasty Lou Post curveball. A great one today. He has retired the first 4 that he has faced, and he struck out 2. Well, today is Kids opening day. It was also supposed to be Jermaine Dye's opening day, but he was not activated. Here he is working with Mike Quaddy, doing some outfield drills and doing some agility drills with strength and conditioning coach Clarence Cockrell. And later he came in and actually hit with his teammates in the cage and hit off that new chi they have with the pitch back behind it. And he looked great doing all of it. But they don't feel he's quite ready to play in the outfield. He just started doing the agility drills yesterday in Sacramento. And he did say he had a little bit of a hard time going towards the gap. Felt a little something when he went towards the line from right field. He was fine.
As long as he is not hurting, you might see a lift, as you could see on that going back to that 1 fly ball. It's natural. When you have that type of injury, it goes favored a little bit, which is going to create the lift. But as long as it doesn't bother him, I think that's not what they're looking at, because his bat is very important. Sure, Art Howell is anxiously waiting for him to get back in the lane.
Jeremy Giambi gets on base again. He's been on base 3 out of 4 plate appearances today with a couple of singles and now a walk. Well, the middle of the order gets a little healthier today with Eric Chavez returning. The A's have been searching for a big right-handed bat to put in the middle of the order all year. Frank Menachino now takes a strike with a curveball.
Frankie looking back to Mike Everett after this called strike. A backup breaking ball. Frankie could have thought 2 ways, inside or high.
It's another one and swings and misses. Luke Pote pitching extremely well today. You may remember the name Luke Pote. He was a Giant draft pick out of a small junior college in Illinois back in 1990. A late pick, a 29th round pick. Spent 4 years in the Giant chain before moving on to Montreal. He was there a year and a half in their organization, a year with St. Louis's organization, and the last 4 with the Angels. Another former Giant, lefty Dennis Cook, gets up. 0-2 pitch will wait. As time was called by the plate umpire. The Angels have completely redone their bullpen. Although Pote is one of the holdovers from last year. They had a good year last year, 2-0 with an ERA just barely over 4 as the Angels long man. Dennis Cook apparently is very close to being ready in the Angel pen. On deck is Scott Hatteberg.
3 lefties after Menachino, and that's why they want Cook ready. Come in and face Hatteberg.
And that's also where David Justice would be just perfect, right in the middle there, to break up all these lefties. That's out of play. But the A's certainly figure, and I think it's the right way to handle it. You play 162 of these. The same thing with Mark Mulder. You're going to make sure they're ready when they do come back. Last thing you want is your main guy to come back and re-injure it. Mark Mulder, the reports on him are good. The A's are hopeful that he will be able to make his next start, which will be a week from today against the White Sox. In a windy day, blowing all different directions. Early on, it was blowing the A's direction. Now it's blowing the Angels. Strike 3 called as Menachino is another strikeout victim. Frank has struck out 3 times today, and Luke Pote has struck out 3 out of the bullpen.
Must have been looking breaking ball. You see how the ball tailed back from the outside corner, and froze Frankie. A lot of called 3rd strikes today. After Giambi Menachino struck out in the first inning, Chavez had 4.
6 in total. He has called strike 3s today. Hatteberg has 1. He had one of the 4 picked up by Lucas Shevitz. Hatteberg is 0 for 3. Fouled to left and popped to short before his strike 3. It's just missed to the fastball. Count is 2-0. Victor Glosser is playing way off the line. And he will gun high, but Spezio pulls it down, and that is the inning. Jeremy Giambi draws a walk, but no further advancement. We've played 6. Angels once down 6, lead 7-6. Our Troll friends having a tough weather weekend. All that rain and now all the wind today. We'll wind up the week tomorrow night, 5:05 Sunday evening, and it'll be should be clear, but if it does rain, we'll be ready for you this time. First 15,000 will receive an A's golf umbrella, courtesy of the Plumber Steam Fitters Local 342. It'll be Corey Lytle tomorrow night against Aaron Seeley. Chad Bradford is the A's new pitcher as we start the 7th here. Alexis line score. Yeah, the A's led 6 6-0. And they've lost it all.
You have to keep reminding people. It's bad enough to think that it's already happened.
That's why I'm here, Ed.
Yeah. Bearer of bad news.
People are in and out today. A lot going on. Chad Bradford will make his 9th appearance.
People might have left after the 6-0 lead, figuring, oh, there's a nice easy victory for the A's today.
That's why they're shocked when they come back to us now. Long way to go, though. The A's have got to find a way to get re-energized.
Well, the bullpen has to do its job to keep it close. Keep it the 1 run. Percival had his tune-up last night in a dicey 9th inning. Not getting the save, but should be ready to come back again today.
Well, the A's need to throw a 0 on the board here. Angels have scored in each of the last 3 innings. As Tim Salmon fouls this one off, the Angels got 2 in the 4th and 4 in the 5th to tie the game. And then took the lead in the 6th.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tim Salmon a part of it today, trying to get out of his extended funk dating back to last year. He was off that tough pitch. He had a 2-run double to right center.
Tim Salmon doing a good job of taking pitches better, and would indicate the way he is doing that's a good sign. Not jumping to the ball as much, waiting back, and a 2-run double in his last at bat.
2-2 pitch from Bradford is low. Chad Bradford worked in last night's game. Threw 26 pitches. Going 1 2/3 last night. Way in tight on Salmon. Tim Salmon had 1 at bat against Bradford last night and flied out to center. Three-two pitch. Ground ball to Tejada at short. And he throws out Salmon nicely. Circled the ball. Not taking it on the backhand ring. Got a lot on that throw.
Right over the top, and you're right. He's positioned himself in the correct way to be able to throw right across instead of across his body. Circle around, and that way, right over the top. It's a lot on the throw, throwing it that way. If he goes straight in and has to throw back across like we did last night and made the errant throw to second base, much tougher, but positioned himself properly.
And this play last night is only air of the year. Now here's Benji Molina holding true to form, jumps on the first pitch and takes it the other way for a base hit. Angel hitters are clearly coming alive here the last couple of games. There's no doubt they're a more confident bunch, getting the results now. Scored 9 runs last night. They've got 7 today. Scott Spezio now. Scott got off to a bit of a slow start this year. Keep in mind he was suspended for the first 6 games of the year. They wound up reducing it to 5. This one's caught on the air by Tejada. Soft line drive. Molina didn't have time to go too far. 2 outs. Angels were involved in that ugly roll with the San Diego Padres in the spring. And Speeds got in the middle of that, so he had to miss the first week of the year essentially.
And the next pitcher for the Angels got injured. Dennis Cook is warming up. He'll be coming in probably the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, it was an ugly one. There Ryan Seeley hit Ryan Klesko. Getting back to something last year, huh, when Seeley was a Seattle Mariner. Strike one on Nieves.
Billy North did that to us back in the 70s. Came over from the Chicago Cubs and had something out of his past against Doug Bird, when the pitcher for Kansas City.
And you guys had a bet.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Chad Bradford throws the 0 on the board. The A's are looking for getting Nieves to ground out to Pena. Let's see if the A's can do something offensively with Justice when we come back. Well, it was the Oakland A's that started quickly today. Carlos Pena turns on one, hits it right off the pole for a homer. 2 runs later to Hada off the scoreboard for 3. The A's got 6 in the third. For the Angels, came back. Tim Salmon hits one in the gap to drive in a couple of runs. Then later Troy Gloss with a good clean single. And that completed their comeback and gave them the lead. The Angels once down 6. Get 2 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th. And 1 in the 6th in the Gloss single. And they have opened up now a lead of 7-6. A's had the biggest run scoring inning of the year in their third. But they've lost it all in our Jack in the Box game summary. We go to the bottom of the 7th now. Still plenty of time for the A's to grab control of the game back. Dennis Cook will be the opponent. He will face David Justice, Eric Chavez. And we'll see who pitches to Miguel Tejada.
Al Levine throwing right now in the bullpen, and Mike Scioscia, with Percival coming back, is able to put Levine in the setup along with Cook and Pote. And
amazing. And one spot in the bullpen, just like the one spot in the order. Remember last year we always talked that 4th hitter. Once they got the 4th hitter, everybody else fell in line. But when Percival was out, Levine was closing games, and they seemed to lack an identity in the bullpen. Now they get Percival out there, Ray, and they've got a lot of arms. A lot of good arms. David Justice clubs away and lifts one to the left center. Going to drop. Garrett Anderson is there to take it though. Nicely done by Anderson again with the backhand. That's a big play.
Well, would not think it would require that top of a play to make, because the way the ball hung up, David Justice did not hit it on the line, and Anderson looking to Devana in center field. No chance for him, and so all the way from left comes Garrett Anderson.
And a long way.
And Devana shading Justice more right center. Ball just hung up too much for him. For the A's anyway. Great for the Angels.
Yeah, that's a big play. That ball bloops in for a base hit. It can open up an inning. Garrett Anderson has played all 3 outfield spots. He used to play right left field, and then when they traded Edmonds, they moved him to center. Also played some right over the years when Tim Salmon has been out. Eric Chavez struck out looking and flied to the left. In between, he was walked intentionally after Appier fell behind him 2-0. Dennis Cook, at age 39, continues in his 15th major league year. Very adept at retiring lefties. Chavez reaching, Gloss coming across the diamond. He was playing way off the line, cut in front of the shortstop Eckstein. Throws out his good buddy Eric Chavez. 2-away. Nice play by Gloss, and nice pitch by Cook. They forced Eric to reach
there and just trying to protect the plate. But Gloss cutting in front, and with his size to be able to bend down and make that play and then throw off balance to get Chavez. That was excellent play by Troy Gloss.
So Dennis Cook gets the 2 lefties Mike Scioscia wanted him to get. He got David Justice and a nice play by Garrett Anderson. He got Eric Chavez helped out by Gloss. Now Al Levine will come in to pitch to Miguel Tejada. Our next game here on Fox Sports Net is going to be a good one, I would think. Wednesday night. In fact, it's so good we're going to bring you an extra half hour. Len Kuiper will come by with his pregame show at 6:30. Then at 7 o'clock, it'll be Eric Hillius against the Boomer. David Wells off to a good start. He's 3-0 in his return engagement in New York. The A's and the Yankees. Wednesday night, 6:30 pregame, 7:05 first pitch. A's are rolling on with their season-long 12-game homestand. And we're busy here on Fox Sports Net to bring you 7 of the 12. There's a strike as Al Levine comes in. Going right to work against Miguel Tejada. He was a perfect 3 out of 3 saving games while Percival was on the disabled list. Now he goes back into a setup role. He and Ben Weber will both be setting up from the right side. Jumps ahead of Tejada quickly, 0-2.
We're talking about when a change has to be made because a key member, whether it's in a lineup or the bullpen, Percival, Jermaine Dye, I think the other players hope and look forward to getting everything back normal. And the Angels, of course, you mentioned, sets up everything with Percival back as a closer, and it'll be the same when Jermaine Dye is back in the lineup. It's almost like everybody can say, well, if he gets settled in there.
Tejada, good poke, and it is going to be run down in left center by Jeff Devaney. So the Angels made 3 nice defensive plays in the inning. One by Anderson, one by Gloss, and that one on Tejada by Devaney. End of 7, 7-6 Anaheim. Take a look at our Chevy line score. The Angels have scored 7 on 9 hits this afternoon. The A's 6 runs on their 9 hits. Angels last night breaking out offensively with a season-high 9 runs, and they've come right back today. Rallying back from 1 point, being down 6-0 to one of the best pitchers in baseball, Barry Zito, to take the lead. We begin the top of the 8th. Orlando Palmeiro, the Angels' 9th place hitter, their right fielder, will lead off. Then David Eckstein and Jeff Devaney against Chad Bradford. Palmeiro scored the Angels' 7th run today. He reached on the fielding error by Carlos Pena to open the 6th. Eckstein bunted them to second, and Gloss singled him in with 2 outs. Right. Bradford getting that upshoot and able to pump the fastball in there.
Big man, because if Palmeiro gets on, David Eckstein, again, top of the order, would be sacrificing.
Palmeiro knows that very thing. Now he's being very patient. Taking a lot of pitches today. 2-2. Chad Bradford out of Southern Mississippi University, a draft pick actually of the White Sox. Pitch missed there. Now it goes full.
Swing the ball forward.
Well, again with that upshoot, I think we thought it was going to come back up more in the strike zone. Ran that time, it never did. What a way to cap off a Saturday afternoon at the game. A little ice cream. Struck through, called on the inside edge. Everett thought about it for a moment, the plate umpire, then he rang him up. Orlando Palmeiro strikes out to begin the 8th.
It's not unusual for Everett to take his time to make the call, but looks like he took his time and got it right. Ball came back, hesitated, and punched him out. Notice that all day, that Everett has been a little bit slow, but maybe it's a matter of making sure before the right arm goes up that he locates the ball.
Not like his crew chief, John Shulot. He likes to wait it over a little bit. Eckstein, very good bunter, not just for sacrifices, but with his speed, he can bunt for a base hit, as he did last Sunday against Zito in Anaheim. This one foul, and Bradford jumps ahead 0-2. Pitch away, and the count is 1-2. The Blue Jays actually beat the Yankees in extra innings today at Yankee Stadium by a score of 5-4. White Sox beat the Tigers 12-5. Baltimore leads Tampa 2-1 early on in Florida today. Everything else will be tonight in the American League.
And Milwaukee has won 3 in a row under the new manager.
Gary Royster. Well, they let Davey Lopes go. They said this is opening day 2, and we're throwing out the record. So they're 3-0. Forget about those 12 losses out of the first 15.
And another Sacramento native makes it in the manager's rank. Dusty Baker, Jay Manuel,
Buck Martinez.
There we go. I think Goa is the other one.
Eckstein just backed off in time. Eric Hillius, winner here on Thursday afternoon. Tim Hudson getting ready for his next start, which will be Tuesday against the Yankees. He gets El Duque. Hillius will pitch Wednesday against David Wells. Barry Zito's got Mike Messina on Thursday afternoon in a rematch of Game 3 of last year's division series. Chad Bradford, 3-2 pitch to Eckstein. That was inside. Eckstein fouls it off. Eckstein fouled that last pitch off into the A's bullpen, where Mike Magnante is up throwing. Eckstein to right center, too long, played him perfectly. Right there to almost catch it like he was throwing it to him. 2 outs.
Start of the game with T. Long in that same position. Eckstein hit the same pitch in the same direction. He is feisty. He makes contact. Tough to strike him out. And works the pitcher.
Here's Jeff DeVannen playing today for Darren Erstad, after Darren suffered a mild concussion in last night's game. Strike, and Bradford floats one in there. Well, the A's getting a good outing from Bradford today, which is certainly going to be key in a one-run game. Troy Percival was not real sharp last night. He got the save, but he walked one man. Appier gave up a single to Greg Myers.
But that was his first appearance back, and sometimes you get rid of that and then come back the next day game after night game, and much sharper. So it would behoove the A's, though, to stay at least the one, maybe try to get it in the 8th inning.
And reaching for this one, Ray out to shallow center. Tejada way out. Long coming in, and neither get there. It seemed like Tejada was there, and he was going to be called off by Long, and then Long never made the catch. It is a double for Devaney. Let's see, it looked like Tejada may have heard something and peeled away.
He had to, because he looked like it was there. Terrence Long still a long way, and he's waving him off. And then T. Long must have called him off, because when Tejada put up his arms there saying, I have it. And then he got out of the way with T. Long coming in.
Either that or he felt Long coming, because Terrence was just tearing for it. It looked like Miguel was going to catch it.
Now, I think the way Miguel peeled off, it was almost like he hurt.
Yeah, well, either way.
Yeah.
And if you're going to call for it, you got to catch it.
And not going into a slide. I think in that situation, Tejada recovers so much ground anyway. I will just say, go ahead and take
Let
it.
him go.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be an easier play for Miguel than it was going to be for Terrence, and the wrong guy may have deferred. So it's a bloop double for Devaney, and the batter now is Gloss. Angels lead 7-6, looking to add an insurance marker here in the top of the 8th.
One of the hottest guys swinging the bat today. 3 for 4 for Troy Gloss.
But you got Garrett Anderson on deck. He's got a couple of hits, and he's a left-handed batter. Magnani could be brought in to face him if they have to, but they're going to pitch to Gloss. None of these Angel hitters were hot at all when the game started last night, and now a few of them have gotten their groove back. Ross had an 0 for 21 that he broke up in last night's game with a single, and now he's got 3 hits today. Strike. 0-2.
Strike zone just got bigger.
Gloss is a triple away. He has singled, he has homered, and he has doubled. There's not been a cyclist with the Angels in over 10 years.
Dave Winfield, like Troy Gloss, very tall. You would not expect him to get a lot of triples.
He could run there. He got those big legs moving. Winfield could run. I had forgotten for the moment there that Winfield was even an Angel. That's before he went to the Blue Jays. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Ross able to get a piece and foul it straight back. Anaheim Angels this year are celebrating their 1982 club, this being the 20th anniversary of that group. Team that won the American League West title, and they were a star-laden club in '82. Don Bailey, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, Fred Lynn, Doug DeCinces, Bobby Grich, Brian Downing, Bob Boone. Wow. Ross could not check it. He strikes out, and that'll end the inning. So Devaney's bloop double does the A's no harm. We go bottom 8. Carlos Pena will follow T. Long and Greg Myers. A's need a run here, down 7-6. homestand not turning out the way the A's wanted. They've lost 3 of the first 4 and in danger of dropping another today. The 12-game homestand. Angels tomorrow night at 5. A's off Monday. Yankees in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. White Sox are in next weekend. Next Sunday will wind up the state with an A's Sports Watch giveaway. First 10,000 kids get an A's Sports Watch from Round Table Pizza. Then stick around after the game. You can run the bases on a Sunday. Billy Koch is going to pitch the 9th inning for the A's. And optimistically, they'd like to have close the game, right?
That would be the best case scenario.
So the A's need to score twice for that to occur. T-Long, Greg Myers, Carlos Pena. The A's have not picked up a base hit since the 4th inning. Can tie the game. Giambi takes it up. A's have not picked up a base hit since the 4th inning. They'd love one now. Jeremy takes ball 2.
And Levine is not even looking back at second base at Mark Ellis.
Fouled out of play. Straight back. 2-1. Spark in the Coliseum finally after inning of a dead environment here. The place waking up. Over 20,000 here.
Might have taken them that long to get over the fact they had a 6-0 lead and trailing 7-6.
Everybody was in a stupor there for an hour and a half. Giambi with a swing and a miss. Got a good fastball there, but couldn't get it. 2-2. And Levine keeps falling behind. And then rallying back, he did walk Myers. Set. 2 walks and a fielder's choice there. Menachino to right field. Palmeiro back, tagging at third. Coming in is Ellis to tie the game. It's 7-0. Menachino with RBI number 9 on the year. Sac fly to right, scores Ellis. The other runners stay put. Now Carlos Pena is the guy to watch at second base with 2 outs.
Well, Frankie Menachino happy with the sac fly, but probably looking for more with a breaking ball that hung up for him. But the good news, he did not roll over and hit the ground ball. Got the ball in the air to the right side to at least tie the game. And at this point, keep Troy Percival down in the bullpen.
Hatterberg takes ball 1. He takes ball 2.
He takes the hitters, especially the lefties, with a sinking fastball. Pena and Giambi second and first. And they throw the 4-seam fastball just to sit hard to get it, let it go.
Strike. Hit the black on the outer corner. Nice pitch. 2-1. Hatterberg is fouled to left, top to short, struck out looking and bounced to third. Facing out the line for the first time today. 2-1 pitch. Hatterberg pulls it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Six nothing ahead. Tied at 6. Down 7-6. The A's Scratch across a run here to tie to the bottom of the 8th. Pena would give him the lead. Atterberg takes it outside. Waiting on deck is David Justice. Atterberg in a lengthy drop. Now's the time to get out. The runners will be moving. 3-2. Foul on a play, straight foul.
Split finger fastball grip.
Doesn't throw him.
I didn't think so.
I'm not going to break that out here, is it?
No.
Atterberg up the middle, base hit. Pena around third. Pena will score. Atterberg breaks his 0 for 15 and delivers the A's first hit since the 4th inning. And he completes the comeback. Now Billy Koch can work the 9th and in fact try to save it. The A's have the lead back at 8-7.
David Eckstein up the middle. Fortunately, the ball was hit very hard by Scott Atterberg and stayed on it. The pitch down, not a bad pitch, but Eckstein, a good diving effort, but with 2 outs and a 3-2 count, Pena able to run immediately and score relatively easy with a hard ball to center field.
David Justice takes ball 1.
Great at bat by Scott Atterberg because it's so tempting with pitches the way Levine is dealing. Throwing the ball down, sinking the fastball. He battled him, stayed at 3-2, and then Levine had to elevate it.
Elevates another, a little too much. 2-0. Ben Weber has lost some meaty assignments out of their bullpen. He now gets up. When Levine was struggling to open in the inning, I was wondering about Weber maybe being a factor. Weber's had a poor start this year, and Levine's pitched much better. And Levine has walked 2 in the inning. And now he falls behind Justice 3-0 after yielding the single to Atterberg to give the A's the lead. There's a strike. Looking ahead to the Angel 9th. Billy Koch will face Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon, and Benji Molina. Ball 4. Justice loads him up again with a walk. Levine's 3rd walk of the inning.
But again, a credit to the A's left-handers laying off the sinking fastball from Levine. Very disciplined. And this is the 8th inning. The A's today so far have had 3 walks scored and an error. Created by Spezia, so half the runs, gifts in a sense.
Well, the A's scoring unearned runs here in the 8th. The first unearned runs they have scored all year. Atterberg brought it in. The second run after Menachino sac fly tied the game. Now here's Eric Chavez. He fouls the first one out of play, left side. Chavez trying to re-find his swing. 0 for 3 today after missing the last 2 games with that right hip injury. Oh, 1 pitch. And Eric offers it a low one and fouls it. Strike 2. Wild one today. 6-0 down the A's were. Or 6-0 up and then down 7-6. Now back up 8-7. Eric Chavez scored one of those runs after being essentially walked ahead of Tejada. And the A's scored 6 in the 3rd. Menachino, big sac fly. Eric Chavez hits a rip and is caught by a diving Orlando Palmero with a play he made. field. He made a tremendous play. That ball was smoked. A's scored 2. Leave them loaded. Billy Koch against Anderson, Sam, and Molina, up by a run. Scott Hatterberg breaks it 0 for 15 with a big single off of Alavine to give the A's the lead back at 8-7 after Menachino's sac fly tied the game. So the A's are not yet done. Billy Koch will work the ninth now. Garrett Anderson will lead it off, followed by Tim Salmon and Benji Molina. Koch saved the game here on Thursday. A's won 4-2. Koch picked up his 3rd save of the year. Ramon Hernandez comes in to catch. Greg Myers was pinch run for by Mark Ellis. Myers had the 1-out walk. That started that whole inning. Anderson lifts one to left field. Jeremy Giambi coming over. And Jeremy's got it. Billy Koch gets the first out of the 9th.
Nice, easy 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Nice and easy. As Billy recent interview on the radio side about, he said he notices or he watches the miles per hour on the scoreboard, and it's not for the fastball. He said he wants his slider and curveball thrown at a certain velocity, and he wants to make sure he's not overthrowing them, so he will occasionally glance up when he throws the slider to make sure that speed of the pitch is where he wants it.
How hard does he throw a slider?
89.
Salmon, one hopper. Menachino and shallow right will throw him out. Billy Koch going right to work here. He is a perfect 8 for 8 in his career against the Angels. And he gets the first 2 guys, Anderson and Salmon, immediately. Now it's Benji Molina. And Benji is a notorious first pitch swinger. See what he gives him on the first one as Art Howe moves his defenders around. A's in a wild one are not away from making this ultimately a win. Molina fouls off a low one at 97. Carlos Pena, big 2-run homer, got the offense rolling. The A's led 6-0. Lost it all. Menachino with a sac fly to tie it. And then Hatterberg regained the lead. Molina lays off that one. 99, that's it?
Yes.
9-9.
And it's effortless. I mean, that's the amazing thing about it. It's just such an easy delivery.
Molina clubs away. And he fouls it off. And the A's are now a strike away from winning the 3rd game of the series, going up 2 games to 1 with tomorrow night coming at 5 o'clock. Kids are loving this one. It's lasted all day. They love it that way. And now one more strike, and the A's have their 10th win of the year. Would have been outside. He backed off to 97 miles an hour.
Ramon wanted to go up the ladder. I think it's tough for Koch to think about throwing up in the zone like that. That's he wants to throw hard and throw down. And I think if it throws up in the zone, it's a mistake.
Whatever he throws, Molina's going to swing at.
There's 100 on the board.
Was it? We had it at 97, isn't it?
The board went 100.
That board's going to break here. That the first time he's at 100 here?
Yeah.
He has been clocked as high as 105 on various radar guns. 2-2 pitch. Whoa, wake up in the diamond lane. How high can you go?
They drop a big hook on him right now. Let him be gearing up for 100 miles. These pitchers.
Look at him all. What a gift. Molina to Menachino. Frankie's got it. Game is over. The Oakland A's rise. poster today. But in the end, Billy Koch saves his fourth, and Scott Hannibert, another one of the new Oakland A's, comes up with his biggest hit as an A, breaking an 0 for 15 with a rope single to center off of Al Levine that scored Carlos Pena. The A's struck for 2 in the bottom of the 8th. They were up 6-0, down 7-6, but went ahead 8-7, and Koch makes it stand up. The A's win it. A's now 10-8 on the year. We'll come back and wrap it from Oakland.